everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight UK Season 1, Round 16, and we are here at Sochi. Joining me in the commentary box this evening will be Dan Huzzah Burt, although he's a little bit indisposed at the moment, but he'll be joining me in just a few seconds. So let's quickly click over and see what's happening in the championship standing. So a little bit of news to kick off with, but I'll touch on that in a minute. So first off, we have Dylan Platt leading the way on 289 championship points. Bear with me 1 second. There's something not quite right here. There we go. That's better. So Dylan Platt leads the way on 289 championship points. In second place is Tom Stevens on 191. Third place is Phil Harris. It was Sean Gregory who was in third. Unfortunately, though, Sean Gregory has had to retire or leave F1 Tonight due to work commitments. He wouldn't be able to complete the rest of the season or indeed participate in Season 2. So he has stepped away. Great shame. Fantastic driver, and he'll be sorely missed. Let's hope he does come back in the future. But that means that Phil Harris now moves up to third place in the championship. In fourth is Callum White in the Mercedes on 114, and fifth is Ross Milburn on 94. Six is Ryan Lear for Alfa Romeo. 7 is Gary McKenny for McLaren. 8 is Jake Sorrell for Ferrari. 9 is Sean Street for Racing Point. And 10 is Adrian Stats Rich for Red Bull. 11, Tony Foster. 12, Jamie Good. 13, Cameron Widdowson. 14, Josh Diggles. 15, Jack Wilson. 16, Matt Goodyear. 17, Carl Jackson. 18, Lee Pratt. 19 is Kyle Huggins. And 20 is Thomas Cook. He'll be taking Sean Gregory's place in that Toro Rosso. I'm not too sure if Dan is actually back as yet. Dan, are you back or not? Ah, Dan, you are. Do you want to give us that again?
Huzzah! There you go. Hello, mate.
Yeah, I've got obviously Kyle Jackson and who's? Oh God, K Hug.
Connor Hughes.
Connor Hughes. Sorry, Connor. I do apologise. I just needed the trigger. So that's Connor Hughes for Renault is in 19. Obviously, as I was saying, with Sean Gregory moving side, that has moved up Phil Harris. I don't think he's going to complain too much about that. But Dylan Platt still charging away ahead, isn't he, on that 289?
He is, yeah. Yeah, looking, dare I say, a bit unstoppable now. 16 rounds of 21 now.
Yeah.
He's that lead is quite hefty.
5 races remaining, including this one. It's 125 championship points there for the taking. But that said, it's it's still away. Anything can happen. Who knows? But I think he's certainly got that essential lead. So that's the Drivers' Championship. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. Leading the way, unsurprisingly, are Alfa Romeo on 378 points. Second are Mercedes on 305, so a lot closer there. Toro Rosso third on 245. Fourth are Rocket Williams on 156. And fifth are Ferrari on 119. 6, McLaren. 7, Racing Point. 8 is Red Bull. 9 is Haas. And 10 is Renault. A bit tighter in the Constructors, isn't it? Only 73 points.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it. I think we've said it, most of the races this year so far, and it's great that it's been so competitive up and down the field because, even in the driver standings, there aren't gulfs between drivers. It's
pretty regular, isn't it, all the way through?
Yeah, exactly. It's quite close. So it's really nice to see, and like the same Constructors' Championship as you said, it's quite close there too.
Still close between, obviously, as we said, Alfa Romeo and Mercedes, but also close between Ferrari and McLaren. They've been battling it out backwards and forwards there. As well. So, I mean, still very much, fifth position. Well, indeed, fifth Position is not really
maybe
decided as yet.
Maybe see that difference. Swing tonight with 2 McLarens and I think only 1 Ferrari in this evening.
Yeah, so we could well see that. I presume Jake Sorrell isn't running this evening then.
He was down to run, so perhaps could be a late joiner.
Well, it could well be. He'd have to miss quali. Right, let's have a look at the actual track itself. So here we are, Sochi Autodrome. Wonderful track. No, it's okay. 18 corners, obviously 3 sectors. Sector 1 takes us from start finish to, get this right. Circuit length is 3.634 miles. The total race length is 192.45 miles, and we are looking at 53 laps. Sector 1, as I said, takes from starts finish down to just before turn 5. That first sector, pretty straightforward, but that turn 3, that horseshoe, can be a bit tricky, can't it? Especially when you're getting down to that right-hander of turn 4.
Yeah, it's getting the entry right into that corner really that's important and getting a good flow through it. But equally as tricky, I think, is turn 2 as well. If you get that bit wrong, it's very easy to rack up those warnings for corner cutting and eventually a penalty. So yeah, 2 and 3 both quite tricky.
That's a fair point. Sector 2 takes us from just before turn 5 to just on turn 12. A little bit more of a sort of turny sort of sector 2. Obviously, you've got that straight, and we'll come on to the DRS in a minute because you've got the DRS rounds turn 11. Although why that's called a corner, I don't know, but there you go. Yeah, it's a little bit more left, right, left, right, left, right. It's a little bit more like a street circuit. This is considered a streetish circuit, really, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's formed from the back roads that run around the Olympic Stadium built in 2014. For the games held in Russia, of course, where we are. Yeah. So yeah, I guess you could call it a street circuit. It does use roads effectively running around the Olympic Stadium. So
yeah, it's not a custom-built race circuit. As you say, it does use effectively public roads, which are used when the race isn't on effectively for normal traffic. And then the third and final sector, obviously just before turn 12 to the start-finish line, a little bit more challenging. You've got that wonderful box section, 15, 16, down to 17, 18. That's quite interesting, isn't it? And especially when you're going around 13 under that bridge into turn 14, that left-hander.
Yeah, another. I mean, all of the sectors on this track are very technical. It's a very technical circuit, one that's really, really satisfying to get right when you do. But equally, on the other hand, it's one to get wrong very easily. But yeah, sector 3, as you said, 13, great overtaking spot if you can get it right, and it looks great on the streams. Hopefully, we get some of that tonight. Yeah. But yeah, 13, 14, 2 great corners, ones that are difficult to get right, but when you do, really helps your lap times. So yeah, one vital part of the track to make sure you nail.
Absolutely. 2 DRS points. First detection point is as you're coming down past the start finish line down towards turn 1. That activates on the exit of turn 1, leading you down to turn 2. And the second DRS detection point is just before turn 10, and that activates this in sector 2, and that activates as you're coming effectively sort of more towards turn 11, takes you round 11 down towards turn 12. That is probably where we're going to be seeing most of the overtakes under DRS, I would expect, on that back straight to give it a better sort of... Yeah,
I would have thought so. Yeah, sector 2 there, one that if someone's got the upper hand over another driver, it's one where you can gain a lot of time on the guy ahead. And then obviously you've got that great slingshot with the DRS in sector 2. So yeah, I think that's probably, like you said, one of the good spots we'll see tonight.
Okay, right, we're going to try something new. We've got a second camera running. We have encountered some issues. Hopefully they have resolved. So let's just quickly switch over to that. And I may have to go back on this. Yeah, it is narrow stream there. There's not an awful lot I can do on that. For some reason, it's just suddenly changed. But Dan, if you could just run us through the drivers while I get ready to... get onto the main stream.
Of course. So up in Q1 at the moment, 7 minutes remaining, and Lee Pratt's currently leading the way in P1 at 1:32.7 in the Red Bull. Behind him, Ryan Lear, the Alfa Romeo, his teammate Dylan Pratt, the championship leader, of course. Jack Wilson in P3 at the moment, not too far off the pace, about 3/10 down. Matt Goodyear is sat in P4 in the Haas. His teammate Josh Diggles back with us again tonight in P12. Remember, yet to set a time. Cameron Wilson just goes P5 now, as we see him come round. P5, that's a 1:34 dead. He's on the soft tyre. And then we've got Tony Foster, P6 for Ferrari. Jamie Good for Force India, or Racing Points I should say, P7. Dylan Platt, as I mentioned earlier, P8 at the moment, but I'm sure, as I'll just check now with the fitted tyres, yes, on the hard, as he normally frequents in Q1. Phil Harris is P9 at the moment, again matching his Alfa Romeo counterpart there with the hard tyres, 4 laps apiece for those two. Adrian Rich, yet to set the time, but out on the softs in P10. Connor Hughes, 11 for Renault, and as I mentioned earlier, Josh Diggles down there in P12, still to set a lap for Haas. Tom Stevens also looking to set a lap time. I'm sure we'll be seeing him jump up to the top of our timing sheets very soon. He's coming down at P13. Gary McKinney was there. He's now down to P16. As it looks like we lost Thomas Cook, who rejoins us tonight. He was P15, but now avoiding grade out. So I think we may have had either he's disconnected or we've had an accident. Hopefully it's the first option we can get him back. But he rejoins us again tonight. He's been away from the league for a little while, so it's very good to see him back. Welcome back, Thomas. And I think that rounds off everybody. We've got 16 drivers. There were 18, I believe, potentially on track today. So we've got 2 more we could be seeing join at latter stages.
Yeah.
And obviously starting further down the field.
They will indeed. I'm just actually on your feed at this moment in time, so this is going to be a work in progress while we're doing the transmission. I've actually got it full screen.
Oh yes, I'm just seeing that on YouTube as well. Yeah, that's good.
So that's not looking too bad. Just need to add some elements in there, but I'm quite happy with that.
Quite happy, yes.
Quite happy.
Yeah, that looks good.
So let's just do a little bit of adjusting here. So this is on the fly, people. So this is giving you an idea of the wonderful technology that we are trying to use and get right. So let's just see if we can. Yeah, that's looking okay, isn't it?
That looks pretty tidy to me, yes.
Indeed. The only thing I don't have is the driving like big shapes. So, right, what I'm going to do now is attempt to actually switch over now to the actual transmission itself. So let's do that. And there we are. We are with Tom Stevens just coming in the pits. Let's go right in the pits. Street is Gary McKinney's out still on track so far. So far a 1:31.6. That's from Tom Stevens. Lee Pratt 1:32.7. Performed very well in qualifying last week in Singapore as well. Ryan Lear 1:32.9. Jack Wilson 1:33.0. Matt Goodyear 1:33.0. Sean Street 1:33.2. Gary McKinney, who we're on board with at the moment, even 1:33.7. Cameron Widdowson, his teammate, 1:34. He's in the pits. Tony Foster 1:34.0. Jamie Good 1:34.6. Dylan Platt 1:34.8. Let's just have a quick look on here because I can guarantee that Dylan is on the hard tyres. Yes, that's the thing for Dylan. Always on the hard tyres when it comes to this Q1 session. Phil Harris, he's also on the hards, 1:36.0. Adrian Rich still to set a time. He's actually out on his fast lap now, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah. Let's have a look. There he is. Yeah, looks like it.
So Thomas Cook will be dropped if he doesn't set a time. He has actually quit out the session, so I don't know if he's going for a back start or not.
I'm hoping that's the case and he didn't crash.
Connor Hughes there, he's in 14, still to set a time, and Josh Diggles still in the pits, not come out. 2 minutes 20 remaining of this queue. Normally with 20 drivers you go from 15. In this case we have 16 going down to 15, so one will be dropped. As I said, at this moment in time, that looks to me like it's likely to be Thomas Cook, isn't it?
I would have thought so, yeah. Unless he can get back in the qualifying session before it ends, it's going to be him.
The question is, am I? Because you're watching the same as I am now, so
I'm currently on Adrian, yeah. Seeing him just come round the last penultimate corner now, turn 17. On his hot lap here on the soft tyre, losing it a little bit through 17, through 18 now. across the start-finish line with 1:34.5. So not too shabby. I'm sure we'll have a couple of attempts to gain there after that little run for 17. Tony Foster also on the lap, currently a 10th lap.
So Adrian Rich has got into that 10 position. Let's have a look at Tony Foster. He's in 9 at this moment.
I think he's
coming into the pits. Oh, he's coming out of the pits. So let's go with Josh Diggles. He's just coming out of the pits.
Okay, Josh Diggles. He needs to last minute. Hopefully he can make it down the track in time. He's only got 40 seconds left. I don't think he's going to do it.
I don't think he's going to do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it. Unless he can cut a few corners.
He's going to have to cut an awful lot of corners. There is a little drive through, but that's between turn 2 and 12.
Yeah.
He's missed that, so I doubt he'll be able to make that one.
And he's not cutting much at the moment. Yeah, he's got 10 seconds. He's not going to do it, unfortunately. But I would assume, given the disconnections from Connor and Tom, that we will see him through anyway.
I suspect we probably will. Well, I'm not too sure about Connor. I think Tom was the first one. We'll see how it goes. So there you have it. Tom Stevens. He's the fastest man in this Q1 session with a 1:31.617.
Now that's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, almost a second faster. He's over a second faster than the soft
on the medium. Lee Pratt, he did a 1:32.7, and that was on the soft red wall tyre. And Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo did a 1:32.9 on the soft. So it's going to be interesting to see. Is he going to get across the line? No, he's not. Is he going to be able to? No, because he has run out of time, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's got to check the flag next to his name. That's it, he's done.
Yeah, he has. So that's that one there.
You've got Adrian Alf still on a lap at the moment, so see if he can improve.
Let's have a look at Adrian Rich then in that case, in that Red Bull. Go on board with him as he's coming round 30, 40, charging down towards 15. I'd love to see a little short spurt DRS on that actually. Yeah,
it would be quite nice. I don't think he's going to finish his lap though. No, he's going to. I don't think he's going to improve.
Around the final turn now, turn 18, onto that start-finish straight.
Oh no, he did.
He did.
1:33.6. Very nice. I guess that was turn 17. Yeah, nice.
Good move from him there. Okay, so I'm just going to transition across quickly. Did you want to run through the runners and riders? Because then that gives me an opportunity to give a few bits on yours. That keeps
absolutely
all the time. So
P1, after our first qualified session, Tom Stevens there with 1:31.6, looking 1.1 seconds faster than the next quickest person on the same tyre. That's Lee Pratt in the Red Bull. Ryan Lear in Alfa Romeo, P3 currently, with Jack Wilson, P4 for Williams. Matt Goodyear is in the Haas in P5 with Sean Street 6 for Racing Point. Adrian Rich improving there, as you saw, drastically to come 7th within the Red Bull Racing, and I've lost the standings. I don't know where everyone was after that. I do apologise. I was going far too slow.
That's okay, mate. No worries. It's
but we had some other people in there as well, so they've all done well.
It's an ongoing process. Let's put it like that. So I'm just going to.
We finished on the best though, didn't we? Adrian Stats Rich. There we go.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, that's looking a little bit better now, isn't it? We should see that in a second. And let's quickly now. The only thing I need to do is just make sure it doesn't keep changing all the time. So I'll stay on your one for now.
Okay. So Ryan Lear coming out onto track. I think it'll be first man out for Alfa Romeo. Everyone now coming out as well, though the pit's busy and bustling with activity.
Oh yes, we are cooking on gas now, sir.
We are off. Q2.
Let me switch across now to... There we go. And there we go, fantastic. Okay, so we are on board with Ryan Leah. This is very confusing.
You have to keep track of all the drivers, who's watching who.
It's probably better if you don't watch the same driver I'm watching.
Okay,
but saying that, it could get a bit awkward, but there you go, never mind.
We'll figure it out as we go.
We'll figure it out as we go. Just one aspect, I'm going to turn off the little menu at the bottom. That's it, nicely done, sir. We are synced. So we are on board Ryan Lee now, just going underneath the bridge, around 1340, coming down to turn 15 now. These are all the outlaps. We've got 15 minutes, well not now, 13 minutes remaining. And from these 13 drivers, we will go down. So both Thomas Cook and, was it Connor Hughes?
Yes, it was. That's correct. Yeah.
So they'll be starting 14 and 15.
And Josh Diggles, in fact, who lost as well. So yeah, that makes sense.
So they'll be starting 14, 15 and 16 respectively. 13 drivers, they will go down to 10. We'll drop the 3 slowest drivers as they stand. Let's have a look at what they're actually fitted with. Now, again, Phil Harris has opted to go for the hard tyre. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it is.
Ryan Leah, Dylan Platt, Tony Foster, Tom Stevens, Gary McKenny and Lee Pratt are on the mediums. All the remaining drivers are on the softs. Remember, the guys that do get through the top 10, they will be starting the race on the tyres with which they set their top 10 lap in Q2. So Adrian Rich, if he qualifies on that tyre in the top 10, will start on the soft. Ryan Leah, if he qualifies on that tyre, will start on the medium. And if Phil Harris qualifies in that top 10, he will be starting the race on the hard compound tyre. So a lot to play for in this Q2 session. As always, it is predominantly the session that sort of denotes really what the guys are going to do in the race or what they're looking to do, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, interesting call there. I wonder if we'll see Phil Harris change that tyre before the end of the session.
I think he's going to see if he can do what he can do.
Yeah, I don't think it runs particularly well at race trim around Russia. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I have seen a driver do in the NL League nearly do the whole race on a set of hard compound tyres.
Okay, well, maybe he's onto something then here.
It was actually 52 laps, I think he did, of the 53 on the hard compound tyre. But we saw this in Singapore as well. I don't know if you caught the stream last week, Dan, but
yes.
Yeah, again, some of the guys in the UK that went on that hard tyre, and Dylan Platt, it really worked for him, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
And Matt Goodyear, I think, was the other one, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. So yeah, there's something to be had there with a different strategy to the rest of them.
It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And I think this, as I say, it's not necessarily a track you think of, but as I say, I've seen it in NL. I think it was actually season 4, might have been season 5, but yeah, it was pretty phenomenal to say the least. So let's have a look at these guys now as it stands. So Matt Goodyear does a 1:32.9. Tom Stevens, 1:33.1. Remember, he did a 1:31.6 in that Q1 session, so he's got a little bit left for him there, I think. He was also on the mediums. Dylan Platt, he's done a 1:34.0. Ryan Leah's teammate, 1:34.5. Tony Foster, 1:34.8. Adrian Rich, Cameron Woodson in the pits. Phil Harris out on track on that hard compound tyre. He is on a fast lap now, isn't he?
He is, yes. He's just out of one now. I can't quite see a delta at the moment, so I'm not quite sure
see
how he's looking.
To that third queue.
That would be big for him, but just seeing also the Discord, I don't know if you've seen that as well from Adrian, regards the weather for the race.
Ooh. What,
constant light rain.
Constant light rain. Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that's really going to mix it up. Is it going to be intermediate territory? There, by the sounds of it.
Very possible, yeah. I wonder if it may be dry to begin with, though, given that drivers are going for sort of a dry strategy at the minute with different tyres in Q2.
They certainly seem to me, it does indicate that they might have them. If they were looking at a dry start, surely they'd be on the softs.
That's what, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be light rain, but not sufficient to warrant the intermediates even, that they can stay on the dries.
Yeah. There's a chance, for sure.
And in that case, Phil Harris might be making a very good call if he can get into that top 10. He's doing set time, he's just coming around Q2 now again. Didn't set a good time on the previous lap. Let's see how he does as he comes into this Q3. He hasn't set a time as yet. So 102. I think he's going to be around about the 134. High 134.
That would do it, if he could do that. Good time through sector 2 there.
Through the final sector now to 16. Charge now down to that turn 17. That's the pit entrance there you see on the right hand side. Round the final turn now, and it's going to look, it is looking, yeah, to 135.3. So that's putting in provisional P8, although still a number of drivers to come out. Adrian Rich, Cameron Widdowson is on his outlap, as is Lee Pratt. And Lee Pratt is actually just coming to the end of his outlap. Let's see where Cameron Widdowson is. He's just coming around the final turn 18 now, so let's stay with Cameron Widdowson. Let's go on board with him actually. Let's see how he does. Into turn 2, this is what you're talking about, isn't it? You've got to go really ride that road, and that's what you're talking about, isn't it? On the exit.
That's it, yeah. Almost
there
what
on the
should be really
side,
the turn 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if they make turn 11 a turn, why that isn't turn 3, I don't know, but...
Well, the whole horseshoe allegedly is turn 3.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We feel like Little Kink after 2 would be another turn in itself.
You would have thought so, but we do not set these definitions.
We don't.
Unfortunately, we've had this discussion before, haven't we, Dan? We have some of the courses on the tracks.
This is F1 Tonight
this is the F1 Tonight layout.
Lee Pratt also on that behind Cameron Widdowson.
Yeah, he's just in behind him, isn't he?
Will be first to come through the people that haven't set the time just yet. So, oh no, he's in the bit.
Well,
so.
I don't know. I think he might be looking at maybe a 133.
I didn't quite catch his sector 2 time. He's looking on par, if not slightly quicker than Phil Harris was.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's going to be a 133, I think. Oh, did he get that right? Oh, 134.0. Let's go with Lee Pratt now. He's just coming around the final corner. 133.9. Okay.
Very nice. Very close.
Phil Harris now is sitting in dangerous territory, isn't he? Because he's in that P10 position. He is still out on track, so he's just running. He is 6/10 down on his first sector, or faster in his first sector. That's interesting.
That's very promising for him, because he'll want that if he's going to make the strategy work for him in the race.
Well, I mean, that would put him around about P8 as it stands at this moment in time, if he maintains that. So this is looking very strong for Phil Harris, and he's definitely going for it. Let's see what he could do.
No worries. Coming round 15 and 16 now. Still up on his previous lap, so looking to improve, hopefully get himself up there out of that danger zone which he's currently sat in. The final corner, and there we go. But it was invalidated, so he's still P10. He's still drivers to set quicker times, or set time in general, so that's going to He's still at risk here. He's not quite safe yet, unfortunately.
Jack Wilson is now coming round his outlap.
Jamie Good as well. Jamie Good there, 32.7. Absolutely fine. That's P1.
Jamie Good comes straight out as a 132.7 on those soft compound tyres.
Adrian Rich will be up next, coming through 15 now. He's on the medium tyre.
I think Phil Harris doesn't have to push it either a lot harder or come in and go on the new set, but now he's just got, well, 3 minutes 50 remaining. It's going to be tight.
That's for long. There's Adrian there, 134.7.
134.7, so he's pushed Phil Harris right down. He wasn't 11, now down to 12.
Tony McKenny now being forced down into the drop zone. Jack Wilson now through 16, coming up to 17 now in sector 3.
He's on his outlap.
But he's not on a time lap yet.
No, he's just on his outlap. Let's go right on him actually to start his fast lap.
Yeah, on board with him now.
So Jack Wilson in the racing point. Let's see what this relatively rookie, certainly rookie to the F1 Tonight UK, what he can do. But he's performed well in his previous races.
He has, yeah.
Certainly in his qualifications. So let's see what he can do. Hasn't set timers yet, so we won't see any minuses or pluses on his sectors, but we should be able to judge roughly how he's doing.
Hopefully looking to come back
with the track there, which is good.
That's the important thing with sector 2 is to really get the car across to both sides of the track.
Round out of 10 now. Here's the DRS line. DRS opens and charges round 12. Round 11 down to turn 12 now. Round 12 into 13. Under the bridge there. Round left 14. It's not looking too shallow. I don't know if, I think it's going to be round about the high 134s. Interesting approach, certainly there into turn 17.
I think it'll be 34 or 33.
Oh, no, it's not looking too bad at all. This is looking very good. 132.7. But did you see that turn 16 that he did? He took a completely different approach in that and really cut in very deep on that right-hand side.
A little weave just to rub it in as well, nicely done.
Lovely job there from Jack Wilson.
He'll be pleased with that.
Setting a 132.7. So,
I mean, 8 Grand Prix this season for him, 5 DNFs. So he'll be looking to really, hopefully, make that lap time stick. And deliver something special in the race, we hope.
Tom Stevens is in the pits. I think he's happy. He's just got through, so he's not going to worry too much about it.
Yeah, he won't be fussed.
So 132.732 from Jack Wilson, provisional P1. Jamie Good, not far off of 132.766. So 300ths I make it, the difference there between those two.
Yeah, I concur. Dylan Platt.
Gary McKenny, 132.826.
Yeah, very nice actually.
All on the soft compound tyres, those three guys. So let's see if that stands. We've got 25 seconds remaining. There are a few drivers out on track. Just trying to see who looks like they're going for it. Ryan Lee,
now trying to. I don't think he's going to do it. No, he's given up. There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
he was trying to go for it, but wasn't going to make it out in time, unfortunately.
Well, Harris certainly won't. Lee Pratt won't. Dylan Platt won't.
Dylan Platt actually, I think, is on a time lap now.
He is actually. He is on a time lap. Yes, he is.
I think he'll do this just to show that he's got the pace. Oh no, I think he's pulling out. But I'd be happy with that anyway. Still Q3 to show what he's got. No one behind him that can drop him down out of the top 10 positions. Lee Pratt can jump in, but it won't push him down as far as 10. So he's safe for now.
certainly looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think he'll be happy. He knows what he's got.
Q2 session, I think, will pretty much remain as they are. I don't see any changes happening here. So, okay, so that's an interesting one. Everyone went onto the softs, and I believe they all set their fast times on the softs. We will see confirmation of that on the board to follow. So maybe these guys are going to be looking now at Ray.
Right up there.
Yeah.
5 tenths ahead of Jack Wilson. Interesting. I think Phil Harris, although he's put on the soft tyre, hasn't managed to set a time on them. He will be able to. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he does. Look at that. 1:31.755. So Phil Harris there sets his mark a full second faster than Jack Wilson. So that's an interesting one. Obviously Gary McKenny's still in there, but 1:37.55. Oh, sorry, I said a full second. It wasn't a full second. I apologise. It's actually 300ths. Sorry, it was a full second. Yeah, 1:31 because Jack Wilson was 1:32. Yeah. So the only man there, Tom Stevens, he was actually on the mediums. So Tom Stevens will be starting the race on the mediums.
I'm just seeing Dylan Platt is out after Phil Harris improves.
He is. Yes, he drops to 11.
Dylan Platt, P11 now.
Yeah, he does. That's right. So
I think is that other than when I took him out in Spain, I think that's his worst qualifying of the season, is it not?
I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is.
I mean, Adrian predicted him to qualify first this race, so that's thrown his predictions in the air a little bit.
Okay, so let's get the information up. All the drivers are on the soft compound tyres, no great surprise there. Let's see who's the first man out on track. No one's rushing, are they?
It's like Tom, the team is preparing his car now.
Yeah, his car is coming down.
I think he'll be first. I know there's a Haas.
Yeah, looks like there's another car ahead. It's the racing point of either Jamie Good or Sean Street. It's Jamie Good.
First out.
So he'll be the first man out on track.
Second.
So we are on board with Jamie Good coming out on his out lap. Any idea who's behind him?
Matt Goodyear is P2, I guess we could say.
You stay there because I'm just going to.
Roger.
So Matt Goodyear, who we're riding on board with now, he's just behind Jamie Good. That's looking pretty okay at this moment. Everything matching up nicely.
Lovely.
Let's come back to Jamie Good now. Getting some heat in those tyres. So we're looking at light rain throughout. That's for the whole race. Is that right?
That's the report we've got from Adrian. Yeah, it's going to be constant light rain. That's all the info we have at the moment, so I guess that's what we'll be looking at getting.
Right, well, Dan, I'm going to have to ask you who you are going to put on pole.
Well, if we're using a past tense, it would have been Dylan Platt, but now I think I'm going to have to go with Tom Stevens.
Okay,
and that seems like a bit of a cop out.
I'm going to go with Phil Harris.
That's a good call, actually. That's nice. I like to say either Jamie Good or Jack Wilson because they look really strong in Q2.
They do.
But I'm gonna play it safe with Tom. I think he's got it.
To be fair.
I think he's got it, and I'll take that pint of water at the end of the qualifying session.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I'm starting to get a bit of a reputation here, actually. It's, my previous broadcasting buddy, while you were obviously busy with Synergy PWR.
Oh, I've had that for a while. Brilliant.
You've obviously been busy over that side, so you haven't been able to make Tuesdays. Guido, yeah, I'm getting a bit of a bad rap here because apparently I made some bets with him for a fiver, and I just can't recall it. And every time he mentions it, somehow I get really bad comp. I don't know what the score is on that.
Interesting. Some kind of curse.
it might well be. It might well be. I've got you as paused at this moment. Is that correct?
Incorrect. I'm still going. Still with Matt, who's letting a lot of people through actually. So he's the running's been thrown up a bit in the air a little bit here, but Matt's letting most of the field through as it stands. Jamie Good, I think, who was first out, now comes across the line. But invalid, so he doesn't set the time there. It was a 1:36 though. There's Tom Stevens there, the first one.
Stevens though, look at that. Yeah, he set that 1:30.9. Tom Stevens opened up with a lovely run there, 1:30.9. We haven't seen anybody get close to the 1:30s. Obviously, we saw Phil Harris at 1:31, but that was a 1:31.7.
Yeah, so almost a second away. Jack Wilson setting a similar time to Q2, so you get the impression maybe he was going flat out through that qualifying session and has done the same again here. But as the track evolves, of course, throughout the course of the qualifying session, we could see that time come down a little bit. So still some time to find, I'm sure. Tony Foster there splitting the two in P2 for Ferrari with a 1:32.7. A common number we're seeing this evening.
Yeah,
it's come up quite a lot. 1:32.7. Or it's something 0.7. That's what we're seeing quite a lot of.
So 1:31.6 from Phil Harris, Tony Foster, who said 1:32.7, Jack Wilson 1:32.78, Sean Street 1:32.9, Ryan Leo 1:33.0, Gary McKenny 1:33.1, still to set a time. Matt Goodyear hasn't set a time as yet.
Jamie Goods is next across the line here, coming around the final corner
coming around the final corner now. Oh, look at that.
Very close.
Very close. 1:32.841. Let's get back on board now. Matt Goodyear coming into turn 13.
I want to say sector 2 looks a bit off there.
Yeah, I'm thinking of 1:33.
I think it could be. I don't know. He's coming in the pit.
He's coming in the pits. Yeah, clearly not happy with that. Lee Pratt in the pits as well. Ryan Lear's out on track. Jamie Good and Phil Harris. So let's cut to Phil Harris. So he's on an outlap at this moment in time. Well, I say he's on an outlap. He just doesn't look to be rushing at this moment in time. I don't know though.
No.
I'm presuming he's on a run-down lap. He's actually coming into the pits.
Could be out of fuel.
Look, I can't really see on that Williams. Yeah, he is pretty low, but I don't think he's out. Jamie Good just coming around into 15. Now this is the one, you see, now this is what we saw earlier. We really cut that corner. And that, when I say he, I'm referring to Jack Wilson. I'm just trying to see if we can actually, Jack Wilson's line. He really cuts into that turn 16. You wouldn't think it works, but it does seem to pay dividends somehow. Well, it certainly did for him anyway.
It's interesting where you can, these alternative lines you can find really give you some extra couple of tenths if you get them right.
We are with Lee Pratt. He's on his outlap. Getting himself wound up and ready.
Just some.
I've got to say, interesting. Our calls: Tom Stevens and Phil Harris, and they're sitting 1 and 2 at the moment.
Yes, you're right. Just to interrupt there, Eddie. Just getting some information from Phil Harris saying if you can mute my stream because it's coming through on stream and a little loud. That's something that I can fix on my end. Or
yeah, you can. If you can just bring the volume, basically cut the volume, that should do it. Unfortunately, I can't do much. Thank you, Phil, for pointing that out. I do appreciate it. I did actually, I was aware that might be an issue. So just put it down, just put it to 0.
Okie dokie.
Hopefully that should then work.
That is done.
So these are little teething issues, but we'll get through it. I think not so bad so far. Gotta say. Lee Pratt coming out now, starting his fast lap. Let's go on board with him. What's Phil Harris doing watching the stream?
No, he's obviously, you know, second 1:31.6 and watching the stream at the same time. It's just
good man.
Another day in the office for Phil, isn't it?
It is really, isn't it? Indeed, another day in the office. He's a happy bunny, sitting third, as I said, in the Drivers' Championship now. So I think he's going to be looking to set his mark in these last 5 races. Very consistent, very fast driver. He's had some podiums. He's had some, you know, bad luck as well. But overall, I think he can count this season as being pretty good for him.
Yeah, absolutely, I would say so.
So we are with Lee Pratt at this moment in time. It's just coming round turn 8, 9 into 10. Winding up now. See that DRS line over there, round 11. Hugging that barrier on the right hand side, coming down to turn 12. Through there, round 13, under the bridge. 14. It seems to, no, 15. And this is the one where Jack was just really cut that corner in a major way. His line's completely different. He seemed to go off to the left and then really cut it in. Yeah, Lee Pratt coming in off. Didn't think he was looking too happy.
I think he might have cut 13, you know, after that, the back straight.
So Tom Stevens is on an out lap. Phil Harris is in the pits. Tony Foster is out of track. Look at that, Tony Foster, 1:32.7.
Yeah.
Fantastic run from Tony. Nice one, Tony.
Very quick. It's going to be a low. You know, the 1:32 is where you want to be really to get yourself up the top in this session. It seems
2 minutes remaining.
Tom Phil can get into the lower 30s. So being able to set at 1:32 could be pivotal, really.
It could well be. Wouldn't it be fantastic to see Tony Foster, you know, in those front 2 rows? That'd be absolutely brilliant. I'd love to see that. He's looking good again. Look at this. It's not quite there, but you know, he's getting himself wound up for it. He's going now. Let's get on board with him. Actually, he was just winding down, I think, getting himself prepared.
Yeah.
Say coming down into turn 2, which then should be followed by 3, but isn't. It's not considered a turn. I think that turn 2 is those 2 corners, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, probably. Maybe it's a Russian thing.
Yeah, probably. Round 3 into that right-hander of 4 now. Watch the exit. You've got to be careful not to go too wide on the exit onto the left, haven't you? Because you hit that dirt, you go spinning.
It's just it's so tricky to keep the car on the track and keep it from going outside the track limits here.
Yeah, it is.
Very easy to invalidate.
Very easy indeed, and I'm sure that during the course of the race we will see penalty points accrue. Although I've got to say, F1 Tonight UK normally pretty good with regards to that. So it's coming out at 10 now, hitting that DRS. Going to be coming to sector 2 and sector 3. Let's see how his times look, and he's up just what 900ths, so it's not insurmountable, is it?
Consistent.
Yeah.
So maybe you can find something in this 3rd sector here to just give him that extra edge. Loses it a bit through 15.
Dearie me, yeah, lost it there.
Yeah, I think.
He's coming into the pits, but what a fantastic run from him. I mean, he has dropped down to the 3rd row, but still, fantastic result. P6, got to say, he should be very, very happy with that, indeed. Drivers still out on track. Let's have a look. Anyone in the 3rd sector?
There are quite a lot of them, but they all seem to be. Well, Phil Harris actually a 10th up.
Well, Phil Harris, yeah. Let's having a look here. Why am I not moving? Oh, I hate when it does that.
Maybe that good year out. I hope that wasn't a crash.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's made it. Ryan Lear.
Phil Harris is still on for something, I think.
He is still on. He's in sector 2. Ryan Lear is just coming round the final corner now. Doesn't do anything great. There's a 1:36. Phil Harris just coming down into 13.
as loads of foam is spread across the track by someone hitting one of the marker boards.
Yeah, looks like it.
Through 15 and 16
what
now.
What can Phil Harris do? Can he pull it out of the bag? Can he take it away?
A nice 16 there
from Tom Stevens? He needs to better his time by 8/10. Can he do it? He's got to push and push really hard. And he comes across the line. He's down 1/10, but it isn't enough. He stays in that P2 position. Phil Harris will be starting P2 alongside Tom Stevens in P1. That's front row. Second row, P3, Ryan Lear. Alongside him will be Jamie Good in the Racing Point. Row 3, P5, Matt Goodyear. Alongside him will be Tony Foster. Row 4, P7, Gary McKenny. And didn't catch who was going to be alongside him actually. But, oh my God, Ryan Lear third.
Yeah, it's Jack Wilson.
Yeah. It's Jack Wilson.
Then Sean Street and Lee Pratt. The back row,
so,
or row 5.
Let's run through those guys as they are. So Tom Stevens, as I said, front row. We got down to Gary McKenny, row 4. Alongside him will be Jack Wilson, as Dan rightly said there. And in row 5, P9 will be Sean Street. And alongside him will be Lee Pratt in the Red Bull, who didn't actually set a time.
Interesting. I thought he had.
Yeah. I've got to say, I was under that impression myself. So we are now getting ready for the start of this race. And who are you going to call for the win now, Dan? Or shall I? I'll take it. I'll go with Phil Harris for the win. And this is not light rain.
That's much heavier than light rain.
Yeah, this is not light rain. Are you going to go for the win, Tom? Jesus, Tom, Dan, sorry.
Oh, that's
Freudian slip that was there, Dan.
So who are you voting for then in that case?
I'm going for Phil Harris.
Are you?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna again. I'm keeping my qualifying voting, and I'm sticking with Tom.
So you're going for Tom Stevens. Well, light rain, it certainly is not. The heavens have opened up here in Sochi, and I expect the guys to be going out or starting this race on wets.
Yeah, I would agree. Looking at that rain coming down, I think it's going to be a wet tyre choice for sure.
Now, this really mixes it up, doesn't it, in a major way. It does not help Dylan Platt in any way, shape or form down there in P11.
Yeah, that's going to be a comeback. I think we'll want to take a look at him at the start, definitely, and see how he makes it up through the grid.
So yeah, it's going to. God, this is really going to mix it up, because this is going to show the guys that perform well under these wet conditions, and there are a few guys there, I think, who could better their positions in these wet conditions.
Yeah. And sorry, Eddie, just looking at the YouTube comments, looks like your Kyle Huggins is stuck. There's Jamie Reeves, perhaps Connor's one of Connor Hughes' friends here, is mentioning in the comments that he thinks, quote unquote, Kyle Huggins will be winning.
Huggins, yeah, all right, don't rub it in, guys. You know what I mean? A lot of drivers changing. Don't give me a hard time about it, please.
David Mason's commented Lee Pratt for the win. That would be interesting for sure. Jonathan Doncourse on there saying have fun and good luck to everybody. Thank you, Jonathan.
We're just running through the drivers now. Ryan Lear, as I said, starting in that third place. And Jamie Good, he'll be starting in P4. P5 is Matt Goodyear in the Haas. And, he's a new addition to the Haas, replacing our good old Dan, who's with us here at this moment in time. Tony Foster in the Ferrari. P7 is Gary McKenny. P8 is Jack Wilson in the Williams, sorry, not the Racing Point. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days, I know. Alongside him is going to be Sean Street. He's in the Racing Point.
Yeah.
There we have Lee Pratt. He's following. He's actually still on the start-finish grid. Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see what Dylan can do from that P11 place. Then we have Cameron Widdowson. He's also still on the grid. 13 is Adrian Rich in that Red Bull. Then we have 14, Thomas Cook, new driver to the Toro Rosso, but not a new driver to F1 Tonight UK. Did start early on in the league, then came out again, come back in again. So that's Thomas Cook. In 15, we have, wait for it, Connor Hughes is in P15. And bringing up the rear in P16 is Josh Diggles. So that's where we are at this moment in time.
I don't want to just put a car hug in now.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. So let's see what happens now. Can you change your camera?
It will do when I get to the. Or when the lights start going, it will point to the front, but at the moment it will be looking forward.
Okay, but driver-wise,
it will
which
change.
driver have you got?
Well, I was on Tom.
Oh, right, okay, we've got it. Yeah, that's okay. So I had the wrong feed there. Okay, so the lights are coming on. We are on the way for this F1 Tonight. Season 1, race 16, Sochi, and they are off. And leading the way, Tom Stevens, Phil Harris, still there. Ryan Leah moves on there. Jamie Good is Tony Foster's up one. Gary McKenny up. Oh, and there's contact. Contact in the background there. Oh, dearie me, Dylan Platt's gone out as well.
Oh, blimey.
And that looked to me like that was Sean Street going off, and that just created a cascade. And the Connie Hughes, Lee Pratt, and Dylan Platt are all out.
Wow. That was carnage.
That was absolute carnage, but that looked to me like Sean Street in the racing point just went veering off to the right-hand side, and that was what caused the issue there.
And then he bounced back onto the track, and I think he collected the others.
So, up 5, Josh Diggles, up 4, Thomas Cook, up 4, Adrian Rich, down 1 is Matt Goodyear, Jack Wilson up 1, Gary McKenny up 1, Tony Foster up 1. The top 4, Ryan Leah has just been overtaken by Jamie Good. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, man, he's struggling though, isn't he, Jamie, to try and get some grip. He's got past Ryan Leah, but that car is sliding away.
It sure is. Those wet conditions out there. They're all intermediates though, so
they are intermediates. I was expecting to start with wet, so I've got to say. Phil Harris is in that P2 position. He's 2 seconds at the moment behind our race leader, Tom Stevens. Good start from both those drivers. Obviously, they were well away from that carnage in the back there. And what a shame. Dylan Platt goes out, but well, at least he's looking pretty safe, isn't he? He's still in the Drivers' Championship. He can afford a loss or two, can't he?
It's not what we would have wanted in terms of perhaps seeing the Drivers' Championship a little earlier in the end of the season.
Gary McKenny looking to make a move on Tony Foster, really having a good look there, see if he can get past him. What an opening lap, what a start before they even got down to turn 1. We are now coming round lap 2. Gary McKenny bearing down at this moment in time on Tony Foster, but Tony Foster maintaining his place. I know that Tony's actually a pretty confident driver in the wet, so I don't expect him to get too phased by the fact that he's got that McLaren behind him.
No, I think he'll be, as you say, he'll be head down, focused on the job at hand. He knows he can handle these conditions.
But Jack Wilson is also on the back of Gary McKenny here. We're on board to see the visibility that these guys have got, which is next to none, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a downside better than a full wet condition track, which just can't be far from. But even so, you can't see an awful lot when you're at speed behind the car in front. No. Matt Goodyear also looking at getting in on the action with...
he is, he's 6 tenths behind, and you've got Adrian Rich 8 tenths.
P4 now, or P5.
Thomas Cook is 3 tenths behind Adrian Rich. So really from 10 to 5, those 6 cars are nose to tail. You can see it there as we're watching Thomas Cook as they're coming round turn 11.
A bit of a train here, and Tony Foster is the conductor, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Look at this, I mean, this is close. Oh, Gary McKenny looking to try and get a move into 13. Can't quite.
He runs a bit deep.
Jack Wilson is now side by side with him. So that gave Jack Wilson. And look at this now as well. Matt Goodyear side by side. Look at this.
Coming back though.
Jack Wilson, Gary McKenny gets through, but still a fight here between these guys. Matt Goodyear He's now side by side with Jack Wilson. He's got past him, so Matt Goodyear gets past Jack Wilson. Gets up into P7. Jack Wilson, I don't think he's going to let it sit there, but look at how close these guys are. They're coming down into turn 1. Jack moves aside there, try and get past. Just ahead of Matt Goodyear as they're coming down into this turn 2A. 2A.
Yeah. 2A, 2B.
2B, or not to be. But it is nobler to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. We do not know, but we will soon find out.
Great battle there between Matt and Jack.
Yes. Oh, really Jack nice goes off wide. Goes off wide there. Adrian Rich has been able to close right down to the back of him now.
Yeah.
Jack Wilson going off wide onto the side of the left-hand side of the track there. Adrian Rich closes him down. Taking a couple of tenths out, but all these guys, I think, are pretty much concentrated on their own driving, and this is just doubly hard. You want to get past those guys, you need to concentrate on your grip. You can see a few little swerves there from that Red Bull, can't you? Look at that, he's got Thomas Cook right on his tail now. They're coming round 12. Look at that, Thomas Cook.
Gary McKenny.
Nice move. Thomas Cook overtakes Adrian Rich, moves up into there, but Gary McKenny's under pressure big time from Matt Goodyear, isn't he?
He definitely said to him, "Hey Gary, I'm here, mate." And he put his car alongside him into 13. He knows that he wants the position now. Gary's going to have to watch his back.
This has helped with Tony Foster a bit. Gary McKenny's backed off a little bit, but not a huge amount. I've got to say, only 6 tenths.
Yeah, and he seems to come back a lot stronger on his main straight here. Although Matt Goodyear looking particularly quick behind him now.
Looking to try and make the move into turn 2, 2A.
And he does.
He does. Gets ahead of him. Rubbish covering. Certainly got it there, but Gary McKenny is still there, as you rightly say, right on his tail. They're coming round 3. Kenny going a little bit wide. It's given Jack Wilson an opportunity to close down to him now as well. Look at this, Jack Wilson now.
Right on the gearbox of that McLaren.
Definitely. I mean, he's got to be breathing in some very moist air there. I mean, he's got to be careful. He can probably taste the fumes coming off Gary McKenny's car now.
Yeah, absolutely, quite right.
Fantastic. Look at this, right on there. Wow, how close do you want to be? I mean, in the dry, this would be risky.
Was there a bit of a tap there?
A little bit of a tap, but I don't think there's any damage, though. I can't see any damage to that front wing. Just having a look now.
No, that looks okay to me.
Yeah, that looks good, so no issues there. He's backed off a little bit, but not a huge amount. They're coming round 12, down into 13 now. But this is very, very close. So we've seen Matt Goodyear make the move on Gary McKenny. Tony Foster remains in that P5. Ryan Leah still in that P4. He's 2-3 seconds ahead of Tony Foster. He's 4.5 seconds behind Jamie Good, who's in P3. Good run from Jamie Good there. Jamie 4.2 seconds down on Phil Harris. But Phil Harris 8 seconds behind Tom Stevens. Tom Stevens just pulling away again, isn't he? I mean, even under these conditions, 8 seconds after 5 laps. That's pretty good going even in the dry.
Yeah, sorry to speak over there, Eddie. I think that was getting a bit excited with Gary almost losing the car through a 17. But yeah, as you said, Tom Stevens. I mean, could we go as far as saying it's almost it's Hungary all over again?
Well, it's
same conditions, and he's already 8 seconds ahead after 5 laps.
It's almost looking that way, I've got to say.
Yeah, Gary looking in all kinds of trouble there after Matt wasn't looking particularly happy through sector 2 and 3. Gary all over the back of him, but now he's just hemorrhaging places now as he falls down the field back to P10.
Yeah, and you're on board with Matt Goodyear at this moment in time, so I've got you up on there. You could
Matt now
just press your Y button.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Always forget that one. There's Jack Wilson looking very racy behind, going a bit wide. But Matt looking still fairly comfortable ahead. 5 tenths. But now falling back for Tony Foster, almost 2 seconds behind the Ferrari now. So Tony settling into his rhythm here in lap 5.
Just going back to Gary McKenny, he's dropped down to P10.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
he lost it coming out of 17. Almost not quite a half spin, but his car was, you know, very close to going into the pit. You know, without him wanting it to, but managed to keep it on track.
Josh Diggle is the only man that's pitted so far. Everyone is still on those intermediates. Yeah, they're all on the intermediates. He pitted on that first lap, so he must have picked up damage, Josh Diggles, obviously, in that collision. New nose, new tyre.
Yeah, that would make sense given he was behind Sean Street there when he had his accident. So I think he might have had some wing damage.
Now, obviously, these conditions now have settled. But saying that, yeah, I mean, it is rain. I wouldn't say it's light rain, but it's not heavy rain, but it is definitely rain. I mean, if we're looking for, obviously, these conditions throughout the race now, it's going to make it pretty tricky, to say the least. But how deep can they go on those intermediates?
Well, that's the question. As you mentioned about it being tricky, this is the last thing that Josh would have wanted with contact on lap 1 there, because when it's this kind of this weather with the rain, there's not much strategy to be had. He's only got 1 tyre to choose from, and now he's 17 seconds behind P11. So
yeah, it's
not ideal.
Not ideal, certainly for Haas. But Matt Goodyear is trying to charge through at the moment. He is really hassling Tony Foster, isn't he?
He is, certainly.
Tony Foster hasn't been phased. He had Gary McKenny hassling him in the opening laps. He wasn't phased by that, so...
Yeah, one of Matt's specialties, I think you could probably say, this track in particular, is turn 13, that late braking. He seems to get right on the back of the car in front through that corner in particular.
Yeah, he does. He seems to really close it down.
Gets his first penalty there, does Matt? After cutting 15, I think we saw there.
Yeah, that was a cut on 15 by the looks of it. You've got to be careful with that, because we've seen points can make such a difference, especially in such a race as this, because, I mean, look at that. We've seen 4 drivers go out before getting to the first corner. Not what you want to see, but it happens, and it can happen at any time, especially under these sort of conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those ones where ultimate focus is required to keep the car on track, as we've already seen on the first, not even past turn 2.
Yeah,
you have 4 drivers gone.
Okay, so let's run through this order. Jack Wilson's closing down again, actually, on Matt Goodyear. Matt Goodyear, he's really trying to get his nose in front there. Tony Foster's just closing the door on him every single time, and now he's got Jack Wilson. Oh, contact, and Jack Wilson was alongside him. Oh, looks of it, and that's Tony Foster out as well. He spun out, and what happened there?
I mean, I think Matt perhaps forgot it was a wet track and broke as if it was a dry one.
Jack Wilson got through, just avoid, but he's got wing damage. Yeah, he's got front left wing damage. He's taken out that front left.
Thomas Cook's through, I think. Yeah. So he's got end plate damage. That's both cars. The Toro Rosso and the Williams with damage there, but the Williams with significantly worse front wing damage.
Yeah, he's only lost the end plate, it looks like.
Thomas goes through.
Yeah, he's just gone through now. Still needs a nose change, so it's important he gets ahead of that Williams. Yeah, the rock. Yeah, he goes wide, doesn't he? Look at this. He's got no front nose, but look at behind. Matt Goodyear, Adrian Rich getting past Matt Goodyear, who's also got front wing damage. So all those cars are going to be coming in. Adrian Rich, he's going to be very happy because he's going to move up into P5.
Yeah, he'll be laughing.
But look who's on the back of him. Gary McKenny.
Yeah,
Gary McKenny in that McLaren, he's back. He's back, baby.
Thomas Cook damage not affecting his stripes too much. guess it only is an end plate at the end of the day, and in the wet conditions I don't think it's two detrimentals was driving. And McKenny not overly speedy behind Adrian though, at the second foul.
Yeah,
losing time to that Red Bull. He's getting a bit of understeer actually through some of those corners, perhaps.
I don't know. It's a bit. I'm trying to sort of get an idea. I was watching his steering there just to try and sort of get an idea of it. But yeah, he has, and he's losing time, more and more time. He seems to have some issue, and I don't quite know what it is.
I mean, he hasn't got an awful lot of VRS in the tank, but I don't think that's too. They're going to affect him too much at this point. Adrian, on the other hand, has got 70% versus Gary's 20, so
yeah, a bit weird on that one. Adrian Rich, at this moment in time, he's looking a lot healthier, certainly on his. But then again, you know, how much are you going to be using? He's really going to be on the stone those straights. Okay, let's have a quick run through the field as they stand at this moment in time. So Matt Goodyear for Haas is currently P12, just out the points. Jack Wilson in the Williams is in P11, also just out of the points. Then we have P10, Josh Diggles, and Josh is the one that came out winning there from that contacts. He's managed to get ahead of Jack Wilson and his teammate Matt Goodyear in the pits. By the looks of it,
he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, so that puts him in the points. At least he's up into P10. In P9, we have the McLaren of Cameron Widdowson. Phil Harris is in that P8 position. Not where he wanted to be because he was doing so well, wasn't he? Right. Okay, he was 8 seconds off the back of Tom Stevens, but he was maintaining that P2 position.
Gary's gone round.
Dearie me, Gary McKenny has spun out. Yeah, Gary McKenny there.
Some contact. I mean, that's an interesting way to spin. There's no corners there except for the one he's now taking now.
So Gary McKenny.
Maybe there's some contact between.
Don't know. Not too sure there. So Phil Harris still on the back of Tony Foster. Tony Foster is in that P6 position, and Phil Harris gets ahead of him. So Tony Foster drops to 7. Phil Harris now moves up into that P6 position. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull. He's in that P5. He's got Phil Harris 7 seconds off the back of him, but I get the feeling that he's going to relatively soon be on the back of that Red Bull. He seems to be charging through at this moment in time. So Adrian Rich at this moment in P5. Thomas Cook, new man in the Toro Rosso, so to speak. He's in that P4 position. P3 is Ryan Lear. So Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo holding the flag for Alfa Romeo up into that P3 position. And not looking too bad at this moment in time. It all depends obviously when he's going to be coming in. And we expect the rain certainly until the end of this race. Obviously some of the guys behind on fresher intermediates because they've had to come in from those changes. So we'll see how that affects the race going forward. Jamie Good, though, in the Racing Point is now in that P2 position. And he's going to be more than pleased with that, isn't he?
Yeah, he will be very, very happy with that. It's often sort of a top end of the top 10, but this is a new high for him, I think, so far. So looking very, very strong at the minute.
Yeah, gotta say, I think he is. And obviously, Tom Stevens leading the way. He's just doing his own race there. 28, nearly 29 seconds ahead of Jamie Good. I think we were making reference to a certain race earlier on this season, weren't we, Dan?
Yeah, indeed. Hungary it was, and 30 seconds after 10 laps, not too shabby.
No, it's pretty much matching what he did on that previous race there in Hungary as well. So Tom Stevens leads the way at this moment in time. I just want to have a look though at these tyres because it's, let's have a look here. So tyres, obviously all these guys started, although I've got why have I got Tom Stevens showing 10 laps on those intermediate? Oh, right, yeah, because it's on lap 11 at the moment. Yes, it's showing. That's right. So 10 laps, he's on his 11th lap with those. Same for Jamie Good. Ryan Lear, he came in after that contact. No, he didn't. So he's on his 10 laps as well. They're all the same, as is Thomas Cook, as is Adrian Rich. Phil Harris is on the fresher set. He came in on those intermediates, as is Jack Wilson, Matt Goodyear, and Gary McKenny has come in as well, obviously after his contact. Did he have contact? Yeah, he spun round, didn't he? So he wants to sustain some damage. Came in and gone off those intermediates. We're on lap 11 of 53. We are 1/5. Or just over through this race. As I said, we are expecting the rain through the full race, and it's now a question of if it comes down any heavier. We don't expect it will. We expect it to remain as it is. The drivers are on the intermediate tyres, but how long can these intermediate tyres go? It's a bit of an unknown quantity, and obviously the tyre change rule doesn't apply under these conditions.
No. Which is the issue people like Josh have when they've got to hit contact, and Phil Harris as well there, because there isn't any strategy change you can really make.
No, I mean effectively if you could, and if the tyres would go that long, I don't think the intermediates would. You could effectively go start to finish on the same set of tyres. Yeah,
you could absolutely. Matt Goodyear going around in sector 1 and lost the car there. He spun out. I think coming out of turn 4. So he falls further behind Jack Wilson in P10.
So he's fallen back down now into that P11 position. Jack Wilson up into that P10.
Also worth noting, Adrian Rich actually, I think, might have passed Thomas Cook on track up into P4 now. So the Red Bull driver there looking very, very strong at the moment.
He is, Adrian. He's up into the, as you quite rightly point out, he's up into that P4 position. He must have made the move. Thomas Cook was hassling him majorly, so I'm wondering if Thomas Cook made an error and then sort of backed off. Not too sure there, but he has dropped behind Adrian, and I think that may have been, actually, no, looking at it, I think he was replenishing his ERS.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Because he'd used his ERS to pretty much close down, couldn't quite make the move, so I think he's probably on a bit of a replenishment at this moment in time. He's really got it up. Going to try and see if he can close maybe down to Adrian on the track and then use that ERS to actually get past him, but he's 2.4 seconds behind.
Phil Harris, sorry.
Look at this. Phil Harris is just he's just got past Thomas Cook. Yes, sorry. Just on board with him there, and I just saw that Williams coming past. Phil Harris is really charging through. I said he was going to be closing down to Adrian Rich before long, and it looks like that is the case.
Absolutely, yeah. He's flying through the field, as he said. As past his Thomas Cook there. I think, don't forget, Thomas Cook has got that end plate missing on the right side of his front wing, or sorry, left side, which is going to be giving him some performance deficit, albeit not that much, but still enough, especially against the likes of Phil and Adrian.
Yeah, but under these weather conditions.
Yeah, exactly. It's
no great surprise, really. So we are on board, so to speak, with Thomas Cook. A little left shoulder camera shot there. Wonderful aspect of the halo, but that's probably about it on that one.
That's the only benefit you get, really.
Need some aerials. I love the aerials when you get a good aerial coming up. I wish you could control that. So this race is, I mean, what lap times are we looking at actually on this, Dan? Do you know?
I mean, Tom Stevens is fastest lap at the moment, which he's doing plenty of at the minute, is a 1:48.4. Other than that, the other fastest laps are around the 150s, 151s. Phil Harris is the only other driver that's dropping to the 140s with a 149.0. So 6 tenths slower than Tom, who's leading the way at the moment. So yeah, 150, high 150, low 151 is sort of what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean that's considerably off off the dry times, isn't it? I mean, we were looking at qualifying times 1:32. You expect dry times to probably be sort of around about the low 40s at this stage of the race, wouldn't you? So about a good 10 seconds off the dry pace at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tom now just doing a 1:48.0 as he continues to pump in the fastest times.
Yeah.
Possibly a 1:47 coming up soon. But yeah, as you were saying, that lap record here, it was set this year, was a 1:35.7 by Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, that's the real one.
So yeah, they're obviously quite a big gap between that. And I think it's like Gary gone round again, or was that Cameron Widdowson who's just spun?
Look at this. I was saying that Phil Harris was
Gary
McKenny spun out.
He's lost his spun the car again.
Just getting on board with Phil Harris now, because he is now riding the exhaust of Adrian Rich. He's really closed down very, very quickly on him, isn't he? And Adrian Rich going wide out of 17, trying to come back round 18. But Phil Harris now, look at this, side by side as they come down that straight towards turn 1. Straight line speed, I think, has just got it. And Phil Harris, I'm pretty sure, is now ahead. Yes, he is, of Adrian Rich. Well, as they're coming down to turn 2A. Adrian looking to come back, no, just slots him behind. Oh, and that was amazing. But Phil Harris's pace is phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, look at that. He is absolutely flying around. He's going on to the wet side of the track, power sliding round turn 3 there.
Yeah. He's absolutely flying at the moment. Ryan Lear up next for him in P3.
Yeah, indeed. 8.7 seconds ahead of him, but Phil Harris made pretty short work of 6-second gap that he had to Adrian Rich.
Yeah.
No, was it 8 seconds? Actually, I think it was 8 seconds.
6 seconds to Thomas Cook.
Yeah.
And then a further 2 to Adrian. So
so he's made pretty short work of that. But where's he finding this pace from? And is it because he's on a fresher set of intermediates?
Could possibly, yeah. I mean, of course, the track's always evolving, and this dry line's showing up quite nicely now as the cars have been driving around it, displacing all that water now for 15 laps.
Yeah.
So that's probably helping them out a little bit, again, with the fresh tyres too. Just giving that slight pace advantage. But in general, as we've seen in qualifying, he's been the only one that can kind of match Tom in the sense that he's getting into those low 130s. Again, as we're seeing in the race, in the 140s.
Yeah.
So generally, he's the second quickest guy out on track at the moment. He's showing it very well.
He is definitely moving. I mean, look at that, 7.2 seconds now down to at this pace. We'll be closing him down probably by lap 20, I suspect.
Yeah, it's going to be very soon. Matt Goodyear has unfortunately retired the car.
Oh, he has.
He's crashed somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Back on track.
He's got Gary McKenny now as he's coming round. He hasn't actually got past. Oh dear, and that was a spin there. Sorry, just had a spin there. Jamie Good spinning on the track, going the opposite way, when he couldn't turn the car, he's got into the barrier.
Oh no.
He needs to come out of that. And he can't reverse. He can't reverse. He looks like his back tyres come off as well.
Oh God! Oh no, he's got a puncture. He's got a right rear puncture on the car. That's gonna. But he can't. I think because of the wet conditions, he's not getting that traction. He needs to get the car going where he wants it to.
No, definitely not. There's something not right there.
He's losing heaps of time. It's not a shame.
Yeah, look at this. Sorry, just cut back to him there.
Is it? Oh, this is going to be a real struggle for him.
Yeah, definitely. Look at this. He's trying to come back, but yeah, it's just really, really tough. Oh, I mean, that was just so unfortunate there. But that's what happens in these conditions, isn't it? You just break that little bit wrong or that little bit late, a little bit early, and that's what can happen. And look at that. He's really straight. It's like a bumper car trying to go round.
It is. It's honestly, it's a nightmare. I've seen it before in I think actually with Callum White in Synergy once, where he had a puncture in the wet and he just could not get around the track.
Yeah.
and it's just exactly, you see him spin out again now. It's just going round and round and round.
Just basically got to keep it in third gear or fourth gear and just hope that it'll get round there.
I think he's going to try and retire now,
Jack Wilson is up to P9 and Jamie Good. Yeah, not an awful lot he could do there. He's had to retire DNF. There was no way was he going to make it round to those pits in any sort of reasonable condition.
Oh, Gary's lost it again. I think this is turn 4 is proving really difficult for the drivers here, because I think that's where Jamie Good lost it as well.
It was at turn 4. You're absolutely right.
So turn 4 is the one to watch this evening at the moment. It appears to be an oil slick out there.
It must be something like that, because I'm just looking. I mean, it is a hard right, it has to be said, as you're coming out of 3. Maybe if you're just carrying too much speed and you just get the braking wrong, I guess it's not an easy one. We're on board with Tom Stevens now. I'm just trying to see where he is on the track. He's coming around 3 now.
Yeah.
So let's see his approach to 4. And he does take it very, very gingerly, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think what was different about him compared to Gary, though, in that instance was it looked like Gary may have changed direction very quickly. So from that left to the right, whereas Tom took it straight and then onto the and then turned the car right. So I think it's that, just keeping that direction change, not so aggressive as to throw the car off balance.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is very much what we're looking at. Just on board now with Ryan Lear, 55 seconds now behind race leader Tom Stevens, both on 16 laps. Obviously Ryan started a lot further down the field. Just trying to see where it was. He started, oh no, he didn't, sorry, I do apologise. He's up 1, he started in P3, that's right, he was in the second row, wasn't he? So my apologies, completely wrong there. But 55 seconds, 56 seconds now, absolutely phenomenal.
I think this is actually even more impressive than Hungary, because I think it was about a second a lap there, whereas here it's nigh on 3 seconds a lap.
Yeah.
I'm really just flying out there at the moment.
They are. Josh Diggles, I'm just watching everyone around turn 4. Everyone's pretty much taking the same approach into that, to be honest with you. Jack Wilson just coming around turn 3 now. Let's see what his approach is into turn 4.
Looks very controlled through there. Maybe a little bit of a slide, but nothing.
Yeah, nothing major, certainly. So now we have 10 drivers remaining. Gary McKenny is in that P10 position. Jack Wilson in the Racing Point is, sorry, in the Racing Point. Jack Wilson, why do I keep saying Racing Point? Jack Wilson in the Rocket Williams is in P9. Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren is 8. 7 is Tony Foster in the Ferrari. Josh Diggles in the Haas is 6. Thomas Cook in the Toro Rosso is 5. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull is 4. Phil Harris is up to P3 and he's only 2 seconds off the back of Ryan Lear in second place on lap 18. Looks like that lap 20 mark that I made was a little bit incorrect. He's going to be closing down on lap 19, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he made no short work of getting back to P2 as we've lost Gary McKenny.
Oh, yes, we have.
Unfortunately, from the race here. He lost it out of 16, it looks like. I just saw Cameron Widdowson, his teammate, go past.
So Gary McKenny in the McLaren goes out on turn 16. That hard right-hand turn. It seems to be the right-hand turns that are the ones that are causing the issues.
Yeah, it certainly does. A shame to lose yet another driver. That's 7 now out of the running.
And we're not even reached the halfway mark.
No.
So, just on board with Phil Harris. He has got it down to just over a second now to Ryan Lear. 1:47 fastest lap by Tom Stevens. Phil Harris, he is really pushing that car, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on form this evening. Just looking very quick.
And I know that I always think that Phil is pretty handy in the wet. I've got to say, from when I've seen him racing in the wet,
yeah,
he does seem to be pretty handy in the wet. And I think these conditions just really played into his driving style, really.
I mean, it's like the other wet races we've seen this season. Like you say, he was quick and on the pace there as well. I think, like you say, it's one of those things that plays to his strengths, these wet conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Lear now, I'm sure, is more than aware that Williams is on his tail.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a mirror's full of Rocket Williams at the moment. I think this could be the lap. I'm secretly hoping they keep it going one more, so your prediction holds up. But we'll see. I think it could be lap 19 that we see the pass. P2.
I think it's very possible at this moment in time. It's just around 2-2-8.
Just look at this. It seems that braking difference. Something Matt was demonstrating as well earlier on in the races. Something that Phil Harris has got here too. Just seems to be able to gain so much time in the braking zone. It's just that extra bit of confidence.
It really does, yeah. Again, I guess it's, you know, depends what setup. Obviously, the setup with regards to that is open to the drivers as to whether they have assisted braking or not. Maybe that's the difference that we're seeing. But I'm pretty sure Phil Harris runs with no assists, though.
Oh, I would assume, yeah. I mean, assisted braking here would not do you any favours. You wouldn't be seeing those kind of gains into the corners if you had assisted braking. Wouldn't it be putting the brakes on 4 miles back?
Miles behind, yeah.
But just managing to brake just a little bit better than the rest of them at the moment.
But managing to maintain it. I mean, I just think he likes the slidey conditions. I was watching him.
Yeah.
He's done it again. Power slides around turn 3 and into a number of these corners. He does really tend to sort of really slide that back end. But it seems to work for him. Right alongside now as they're coming down. Oh, into 50, 60.
Right now, just getting sloppy as...
He's feeling the pressure though, isn't he? I mean, he's feeling the pressure, this is the thing. He's got Phil Harris alongside him as they're coming round the penultimate turn. Phil Harris is ahead, stays ahead round 18 and takes that second place from Ryan Lear. What a fantastic, fantastic run so far, I've got to say, from Phil Harris. He's absolutely romping it.
Can't take it away from him. Takes damage down to P7, and before you know it, back where he was before. No, that's dividends to his to his mentality really as a driver. It doesn't let it affect him, and right back into P2.
And as I say, that power slide round 3, it almost looks as if he's enjoying that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, come on, slide, get that back sliding there. He really is riding it well, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
So fantastic.
So once you know what the car does through the corner with that slide, you can do it over and over again and know that it's not going to get away from you.
Yeah, that's true enough.
And it's just, he's obviously got a very good handle on that Williams, and knows what it's going to do, and that's so important when driving around these kind of circuits, wet conditions, knowing how the car's going to react to your inputs.
Yeah, it does make all the difference, obviously. Yeah, it definitely does. And he's now, I mean, he's a minute 6 off Tom Stevens. I think it's going to be a hard call through to close that down, I've got to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's nothing to say that Tom might not fall foul to some of these spinny corners, we could call them, like turn 4 and turn 16. I think we've seen some similar spins happen. But yeah, I think a minute and 6, now a minute and 7 as we come around to that 21. That's a big ask.
And Phil's actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. I think that was actually out 16 or 17.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, I think it was the final corner.
Yeah. So he's not that it's going to make a hell of a lot of difference, but he's got Ryan Lear 3.7 seconds off the back of him. I don't know if Ryan's got any penalties, and this is the issue. If you've got 3, 5, 6, 7 seconds difference and you've got 2, 3 penalties, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tom's only got a 3-second penalty for now.
Phil Harris.
Phil has got definitely 3 for sure.
And Ryan
picked up those. Ryan, I think actually Ryan's looking quite clean at the minute. Yeah, nothing for Ryan so far.
So Ryan Lear, at this moment not looking too bad. In reality, he's only 1.3 seconds off the back of Phil Harris. So Ryan Lear's in that third place. It's looking solid. Now, the question that is, just on the edge of my lips is how deep can Tom Stevens go on these intermediate tyres? And indeed, Ryan Lear, Adrian Rich, Josh Diggles, Tony Foster and Cameron Woodson, because all those guys have not pitted since the start of this race, and that is going to have an effect.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think they can go quite deep with these, actually. I think they'll last 30, I would have thought.
I would have
thought
thought 30, but you know, full fuel load, start of the race. I would go with you on that one. I would think they should go to around about 30 or even plus.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they've like we say before in these wet conditions, they've got Jeff in their ear saying what's going to happen. Something we can't quite
Tom
tell.
Tom Stevens actually just lapping Jack Wilson in P8. So this is looking very Hungary-esque.
It is indeed, and Josh Diggles actually back up to, or I say back up to, he's now up to P5. So looking good. 11 places up from his start position.
Now we are on lap 22 of 53. Not reached the halfway mark yet, but it feels as if we have, because this race has been pretty relentless. We've seen Gary McKenny for McLaren, Jamie Good for Racing Point, Matt Goodyear for Racing Point, Dylan Platt for Alfa Romeo. Dylan Platt, where are we? Yes, Lee Pratt. Dylan Platt, Lee Pratt, there you go. Dylan Platt for Alfa Romeo, Lee Pratt for Red Bull, and Connor Hughes and Sean Street. Connor Hughes for Renault, Sean Street for, sorry, that was Matt Goodyear for Haas, not for Racing Point. Sean Street for Racing Point. We've seen all of those drivers go out. It's not, you know, there's a lot of drivers to lose, even on a track like this, and it's just these conditions. And the start of that race, obviously, we lost 4 straight away, didn't we?
Yeah, that was it. And the rest of them have been results of, you know, spins, really, for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. 7 drivers out, 9 drivers remaining. Everybody at this moment in time is in the points. We are on board with Josh Diggles in the Haas, and as you said, he's sort of back up there really into that 5th place. But these guys here, I mean, they still have a damn good chance, I've got to say, because depending on how deep they go, I suspect that Phil Harris, I don't know, is he going to have to pit? This is going to be a really interesting question now, because he's, what, 8 laps behind Tom Stevens at this moment in time. I mean, yeah, I'm wondering, he's going to have to, is he going to have to pit? I'm sure. I'm sure he is.
Big arse.
Yeah, I think he is. He's going to have to pit again, isn't he?
But you'd like to think he could. I mean, he's already pitted. Technically, he hasn't got to do it again. Granted, I don't think it will make too much of a difference to his, you know, to his deficit to Tom. Unfortunately, given that it's over a minute, and of course a pit stop isn't that long. But it will certainly help for sure. And make a dent in that gap.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work it out, because I mean, he's done 14 laps, 29 laps remaining, so that's 43 laps. I mean, if these intermediate tyres, say for this first stint, go into the high 30s, 43 becomes the realistic objective to close the race, doesn't it? Lesser fuel load.
Yeah, it does. But given that gap to Tom, I don't think it's a risk he's really got to take. And as we've seen, the thing you don't want here is a puncher.
So Josh Diggles just making a move on Adrian Rich into 13. Lovely move there.
Stuff. Josh looking back to his old ways now, competitive as ever. As he now makes that 12 places.
So up into P4. Yeah, remember Josh did start at the back, as you're rightly saying. Adrian Rich, I think, is actually coming into the pits.
He is.
So is that the answer to my question? 22 laps.
I mean, Adrian's the kind of guy that will like to go long, and he looks after his tyres. So you would like to think that anyone that's not so good with their tyres is probably struggling a little bit now. So as he goes on one set of intermediates as expected and changes his front wing as well.
Yeah, so he's getting a new nose. I don't know if he had any damage, maybe that was it. He must have had some damage to that front nose, which has caused him to come in. So he drops down into P9. P1 is Tom Stevens. He's closing down on P5, Tony Foster, to make a move. And Tony Foster getting a little bit squirmy there. Picks up 3 points, clearly because he's aware that he's got Tom Stevens bearing down on him round 3. Yeah, just moves aside there.
Yeah.
Before they get into turn 4. So
only Phil Harris. Well, who's he got left with that now? He's got a few, hasn't he?
He has, but that gap has actually opened up. It's 110. So he's not actually closing it down at all. In fact, I'd say the reverse. Tom Stevens seems to be pulling away, if anything.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's likely to come down. Tom just looks like he's on a mission. Just putting in quickest lap after quickest lap. He's going for it. It's Hungary 2.0.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way at the moment. But Phil Harris is not going to give up. He's not the sort of man to give up, is our Phil. So Phil Harris in there, P3, Ryan Lear is 11 seconds behind Phil. So I mean, it gives you a measure how Phil's pulling away. Ryan Lear has lost 11 seconds, or rather he's 11 seconds behind him, so he has effectively really pulled away from him. We saw him charging through the field earlier anyway. So Ryan Lear, he's in that P3 position. He's got Josh Diggles, 15 seconds off the back of him. Tom Stevens setting another fastest lap, 147.518. Now, Josh has got his work cut out for him. Tony Foster, he's still in that P5. He's still in a good points place. He's just been solid, as he always is, isn't he, Tom? Tony?
He is, yeah, Mr. Consistent. Yeah, he's always running strong, and he's doing it again tonight. Holding P5 nicely.
Yeah, he's certainly up for some good points, that's for sure. Cameron Woodson in McLaren, he's in P6. Jack Wilson in the red. I was getting it. What's wrong with me? In the Rocket Williams, he's in P7. Thomas Cook in the Toro Rosso is in P8. And Adrian Rich, as we know, came into the pits. He's dropped down to P9. Well, when is Tom Stevens going to come in? We're reckoning on that we think these intermediate tyres should go to the 30s. We're on the mid-20s now. We have seen Adrian Rich come in, go onto a fresh set, but he had to, because he had a nose change, so that's just one of the defaults, effectively, of the game itself, which, to be honest, I never actually realised.
No, the wing change in the pits.
Yeah, you have to have the tyres.
I think you can, that's the thing. They've always got to do your tyres, which is quite annoying. Always adds a bit of extra time on.
But also, if you want to stay... All right, Tom is coming in. So Tom is coming in.
26.
Okay, so lap 26. He's got 27 laps remaining. He's going to go for like... That's it, he's gone 50-50, isn't he?
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
So Tom's gone 50-50, he's coming in. Phil Harris is steaming around. Oh, yes. In sector 2 now. Coming up to turn 10. So he's a good half a lap behind Tom Stevens as Tom Stevens comes out onto the track. We'll see that time
went in first, comes out first.
Yeah.
That's always the ideal result for a pit stop.
Oh, definitely. Phil Harris coming around 13-14 now. We'll see what that deficit is once he crosses the line. It'll also give us a good indication what a clean pit stop is as well.
Yeah.
So let's see. Around the final turn now.
2 seconds.
I don't think so. Somehow, there we go. That's a little bit better.
There we go. Drop down a bit more.
Yeah, so
even more now. 49.
So what was he on?
About 20 seconds. It was about 1 minute 11, so 23 seconds.
Say 1:12. That's 24 seconds.
Yeah,
give or take.
There's Ryan Lear in the pits now.
So Ryan Lear comes into the pits now. That does mean. Let's have a look. Yeah, Josh Diggles will overtake him. So Josh Diggles will move up into that P3 position. Ryan Lear should come out ahead of Tony Foster. About 10-12 seconds. Ahead of Tony Foster. So Josh, I mean, what a fantastic run from Josh. As you rightly say, let's just remind ourselves where he started. 13 places he has gained. Started right at the back of the field, up 13 places into P3. He is going to be very happy, and it's very much needed for him. I think he needs that encouragement, doesn't he?
Yeah,
just to, to prove the point that he's not, not necessarily the DNF king, although the race hasn't finished yet.
No, I mean, and hopefully we can see that name, if you like, removed from Josh's Josh's driver, because that's not what he's all about. He's, as you've seen here, he's got the drive in him, he's got the pace, and when he has that good race, he pulls it off.
Josh Diggles is our intercontinental driver. So, to be fair, he's had a lot going on in real world at this moment in time. Yeah. So, hardly surprising. But I think now he's settled down into the intercontinental life. I think he's now starting to show his true form, isn't he?
Indeed, yeah. And I think actually that pit stop, although he might not have wanted it at the start, has actually probably helped him out. Although he is coming in the pits again now. Oh, no, he is. Yeah. A little bit of lag on my end.
Yeah, he has come into the pits indeed. So another man that's coming in, and I just want to see how far
stays out.
Yeah, 26 laps. So yeah, everyone's pretty much lap 27. That's what they're doing, and it is a 50-50 effectively. That's what these guys are looking for. So we've got a round of pit stops coming in. I think they're all practically done, actually, because only Jack Wilson and Phil Harris, obviously on the difference, they're on 20-lap old tyres, as opposed to the fresh tyres now. So, okay, this is going to be interesting because Jack Wilson and Tom Stevens are definitely, Jack Wilson and Phil Harris are definitely going to have to pit again, aren't they?
Yes, you're right. I mean, they'll,
everybody
like
else,
you said, they can.
Everybody
push.
else can pretty much stay out. I mean, Adrian Rich, he might push it, but I don't think so. Other than that, I think they're all pretty much done. So it's only the two Rocket Williams guys that are the ones that need to pit before the end of this race.
Yeah, that's it. Unless they have got some strategy devised into team to drag the tyres out right to the end. Although I don't think they will.
I don't think they'd be able to.
I mean, Phil Harris doesn't really need to. He's got nothing to gain in front, nothing to lose behind at the moment. So he could pit again now and still be P2 happily.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he would be a good, probably 17 seconds ahead of Ryan Lear, even if he does pit.
Oh no, Adrian's gone. We've lost Adrian somewhere. Oh no, he's lost it out of turn 9. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, we're just watching now, and that was
I had a big huzzah when he crossed the line, and we'll have to use it for somebody else.
Absolute shame. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull goes out of turn 9. DNFs. 8 cars are remaining.
Such a good run of form as well. Past
what
couple
a shame.
Of races.
Well, unfortunately, it's the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak.
Yeah, that's it. And I think we'll be getting a message from Adrian shortly here. And he's messaged us one word: cramp. so the cramp has come back to strike him again, unfortunately.
It's
a real shame actually for him because he's got such pace.
He's got a beautiful. I think he needs to practice ballet. I think if he did that, he'd be okay on that rig.
He normally has his Mr. Bean shoes on to help him through the races. I've seen his lower half during the race, and he looks a lot like Mr. Bean. But today, obviously, it's not paid off for him.
Yeah.
You know, it is a shame because he's not such good as we've seen today. He's in such a good position.
Yeah.
That's the only thing letting him down at the moment. Yeah, maybe ballet. Ballet's the solution, Eddie.
Just walk around the house on your toes. That should do the job.
Yeah.
For those of you wondering what on earth we're talking about, because it does sound a bit bizarre, I've got to say. So, to explain, Adrian has a superb rig, which is, I'm not going to mention the manufacturer, but it's a common racing seat manufacturer who has an F1 version of the seat where you're effectively sitting exactly the same position and how can I put just trying to think the way to put it actually parallel or
on your back.
Yeah, you're basically lying on your back with your legs up in the air, which is the same position as a real world F1 driver. Which is great, but obviously when you're constantly hitting those pedals, you think about you're constantly pointing your toes, it can get you get repetitive strain injury and then cramp, and that's basically what's affecting Adrian. So if anyone out there has a similar rig or has suffered from similar problems or knows how to resolve it, please do let us know, because we would like to see Adrian complete a few more races without actually getting any cramp. What do you think of that one, Dan?
I think that sounds pretty good indeed. I have looked it up for him before actually, but no one else seems to report it on any forums that I've looked on. So it seems like a bit of a one-off. But yeah, now you've actually mentioned it that way, I can see why it's a problem given the way his legs are.
Yeah.
You're pushing your pedals down and stretching your feet like that. That is going to do some.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess repetitively, that is going to strain you.
Yeah, you're constantly pointing your toes. When you think about it, you sit there, put your legs straight and point your toes repetitively. You can feel that hamstring, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, that's because my setup's more of an upright.
Yeah, same here.
So I don't have to worry about that as much.
Yeah, mine's much more of a conventional driving position.
Yeah, it's almost like being sat in your car.
Yeah, pretty much. So we are left with 8 drivers. 8 drivers gone. Let's remind ourselves who they were. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull, Gary McKenny in the McLaren, Jamie Good in the Racing Point, Matt Goodyear in the Haas, Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo, Lee Pratt in the Red Bull, Connor Hughes in the Renault, and Sean Street in the Racing Point. So both Racing Points out, both Red Bulls out, 8 drivers remaining. 8 drivers remaining.
Doing some remining, eh?
Yeah, I think they're remining. Thomas Cook is in the Toro Rosso. He is currently in that P8 position. P7 is Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren. Tony Foster in the Ferrari is in P6. Jack Wilson in the Rocket Williams, I got it right, is in P5. Josh Diggles in the Haas is in P4. Ryan Leah in the Alfa Romeo is in P3. Phil Harris in the Rocket Williams is in P2. And leading this race from the start, Tom Stevens in that Mercedes. This man is undoubtedly, if he carries on the way he is, going to deliver another win here, and he's going to be somewhat happier because he's got Dylan Platt, his main competitor, his only competitor really, out right at the start of this race before they even got round turn 1.
Yeah. Real shame, but fortunately it's one of those things that can happen. It's made worse by the fact it's not any of their faults really. It's collected by a stray car bouncing back onto the track.
Yeah, it's just, as you say, it's just unfortunately one of those incidents. Obviously the gap though is vast at this moment in time. Tom Stevens has, it will obviously help him to close down that gap a little bit more. But ultimately, at the end of the day, as he said, 5 races remaining, including this one. He's going to be hard pushed. He's going to need. He basically needs to win all the races from now to the end, and Dylan Platt not to place at all.
That's it, yeah. Which is a big ask. Dylan is pretty consistent.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Even today wasn't his doing. He was just unfortunate to be where he was at that time.
Yeah, as you rightly say, it's just the way, unfortunately, it's worked out. It's not ideal, but yeah, I mean, he can, as I've mentioned, he can afford to lose a few places. Well, not a few places. He can afford to lose a race or two at this moment in time, but he's got to be careful because he doesn't want that to become too big a gap, does he?
No, definitely not. And obviously he's got lucky. Got lucky here today with the fact that it's not going to get much bigger, or bigger at all. It's only going to get smaller between Tom and Dylan, so he will be chuffed with that today. And on for perhaps even a second Grand Slam, although he's already got one this season. Fastest lap, led every lap, and wins the race.
Yeah.
So he's looking.
He is looking pretty good. I've got to say though, I think Phil Harris, has put in a great race as well. 123 is the gap now. He has come in and pitted by the looks of it, I would suspect. Yeah. And obviously gone onto a fresh set of tyres. Ryan Lear is in that P3 position. Josh Diggles, though, I mean, great race. He was obviously up a little bit more, but with all the pits, etc., he's dropped back into that P4 position. But that said, again, he has raced a great race, hasn't he? I mean, he's got Ryan Lear, who still hasn't stopped, ahead of him. I'm just trying to figure out actually if Ryan is going to need to stop. No, he's not, is he?
I think he came in the other lap.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he came in. Yeah, in lap 28. So Josh Diggles, he's got the 2 stops, and that's basically what's cost him, really, isn't it? Had he not had those 2 stops, he probably wouldn't be challenging for that P3 position.
Yeah, definitely.
But still, not to be taken away from him. 12 places, started in 16, up to 4. That's looking good. And still, anything can happen ahead of them on the track now, can't it? I mean, we've seen it already happen to a number of drivers. Just because they are where they are at this moment in time doesn't mean that's necessarily where we're going to finish. We've got 19 laps remaining, and anything could happen in those 19 laps.
Absolutely anything.
So
he was looking to be gaining almost. Josh was there on Ryan Lear, but the gap stabilising a little bit now. Ryan did have a bit of a moment there through turn 5.
Yeah.
Looked to be, very nervously pointing towards the wall at one point. But managed to keep it back on track.
Not what you want to be doing, really.
No, not really. No, not in the wet around this track with not many run-off areas and a lot of walls. But Josh still, he's not looking slow behind him, coming down a couple of tenths every now and again. So hopefully
Jack
a bit of
Wilson
a
looks like he might be closing, starting to close in a bit, I think, on Josh Diggles.
Yeah, I think he is. About 3 seconds coming down.
Also, Cameron Wilson looked like he was starting to close down a bit on Thomas Cook. So still an awful lot that can happen, and I feel that it might, I've got to say.
Indeed.
That's one thing you've got to say is you really don't know what on earth is going to happen from one lap to the other. You can have a fairly good guesstimate, but you just really don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's like a box of chocolates.
It's like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get.
Very nice, very nicely done.
Well, I've got to say, it's not quite their full Tom Hanks, but
it was a respectful Tom Hanks.
It was a respectful Tom Hanks, yeah. Bubba! Bubba! No go, Bubba!
Oh, very good.
I love that bit, actually. I love Bubba. I think he's great.
I haven't seen Forrest Gump.
Have you never seen it?
get black now for having said that on stream,
but
mate. No, I've never seen it.
How could you not see? That is honestly, it is a wicked movie.
I should have to give it a watch.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely worth a watch. I mean, you know, it's a bit of a sort of sit down with your other half, packet of Maltesers and a bottle of wine type movie.
Or in my case, just with the bottle of wine and the Maltesers.
Oh, dang.
Not to worry.
Mate, you need younger sisters, you see. That's what helps.
Hang on, what were you getting at here then, Eddie?
No, I don't.
And so, what's going on in the race?
Not what I meant. What I meant was younger sisters equate to sisters' girlfriends.
Oh, I see, yeah. Well, I've actually got 2 younger sisters, so you never know.
Well, you know, yeah, but I've got to say, 8 or 10, not good.
No, yeah. Not ideal.
No, you want them sort of late teens, mid-20s, really.
Yeah.
That's what you need to. That's what you need to go for.
That's a good range.
Yeah, it's a good range. So yeah, if your sisters slot into that, get them introducing their girlfriends to you.
Yeah.
We are on board with Jack Wilson. I was thinking he was going to be closing down, but he's actually lost time, hasn't he? To Josh Diggles.
It was 4 seconds now 7.
He's opened up somewhat. So he doesn't seem. And again, I'm wondering if it's these tyres where you reach a certain point. Just have a look where Jack Wilson is on those. Yeah, 27 laps, and that's what it is.
Stopped.
Yeah, he's on 27 laps. Remember, Jack Wilson and Phil Harris. Phil Harris has already come in, so it's only Jack Wilson that's running on the other set of tyres, and he's clearly losing time on those intermediates. That's what it boils down to.
That's it, yeah. So maybe it's worth pitting and then just coming back at Tony. I mean, he'll drop back to P7, I think.
He will drop down to P7, but he could be challenging Tom. So Thomas Cook. So yeah, I don't think he's going to come out ahead. No, he's not going to come out ahead. He's going to come out behind Thomas Cook. But that's what he needs to do. But he's staying out there. I mean, I've got to say, when you're losing time like that, it's not necessarily the best of moves, is it?
I mean, in fairness to him, he's not losing time to the cars behind, only for those in front.
Yeah.
So maybe that's his thinking, that you've not, he's still got 10 points on the cards here.
Yeah.
Although I think he's going to have to stop at some point because it's going to be an awful lot of laps if he goes right to the end.
Well, I mean, ultimately, I don't know if he's going to be able to go to the end. The gap at the moment is 17.1 seconds. We know that the pit stop is round about 24 seconds, so he's got a 7-second deficit that he needs to try and make up there. He would effectively come out, 7 seconds behind Tony Foster if he were to pit. Maybe that's what he's looking to try and sort of, I suppose, eat into, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, I would say to him, look, give it another lap. If you're not making consistent inroads into that gap of Tony Foster and, in fact, growing it, increasing it, come in, go for another set of tyres, go for it on track because you stand a better chance. Because the more he stays out there, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, exactly. It's only going to get slower. And actually now, Tony Foster, while under quite severe pressure from Thomas Cook, who's now within 2 tenths.
Oh my God! Yes,
Tony's now managed to get it below 17 seconds.
Yeah,
Jack Wilson. So he is actually gaining.
And that gap is shortening. But as you say, Thomas Cook is he's closed down on the back of Tony Foster. He's really looking to put that pressure on as they're in that final sector of this lap 38. 15 laps remaining. This is F1 Tonight UK. We are here for round 16 of the first season of F1 Tonight UK in Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. We are on board with Thomas Cook closing down on Tony Foster. I've got to say, straight line speed of that Ferrari, it just pulled away there, didn't it?
It did, yeah. That getaway was brilliant. I think Thomas Cook only on level 1 of his DRS, so not really pushing. As he takes the run off
loses it
now.
Round turn 2 there.
But he takes the correct road, doesn't get the penalty, which is very good of him.
Yeah, well, he knows his stuff. He's a veteran driver. Is R. Thomas. Started off the season, then sort of went off. Can't recall, I think he had other commitments, now come back again. And it's looking as if he's going to be competing in season 2 as well. Look at this though, right on the tail, Tony Foster, as they're coming round. So close, so close. That was turn 7, round 8, 9 now. Tony Foster going wide out of 9, or into out of 9. Thomas Cook makes the move, gets ahead of Tony Foster, and that was all down to the pressure there, wasn't it?
That was, yeah.
Not often we've seen Tony bow to the pressure, but he did in that instance.
Yeah, I think you know, Thomas was just putting it to him just constantly. Yeah. Even you know, I think probably Tony wasn't quite ready for him to come back as quick as he did after going off into that turn 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Perhaps quite napping a bit there.
I think he may have done. And you know, this is the thing. Also, you know, we're getting towards the end of the race, and well, you can vouch for this, can't you? I mean, it is not a walk in the park. It's more like a 5-mile jog, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it was a 5-mile jog where you fall into a pond after about a mile. And then you walk home very soggy and you cry to your mum for a little while.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a 5-mile jog. It's definitely not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
I expect after 16 races now, some of the drivers are getting quite accustomed to it. And you know, and it's enjoyable once you get going, for sure. It's just getting past the aches and pains of being sat in your chair for 50 laps, for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
that's the main one. As you see with Adrian getting the cramp and things. I mean, I know from experience, I got backache just from being sat upright for such a long time and kind of straining and working on the car. It takes a bit of a toll.
Well, I mean, the race itself, you're looking around about an hour and a half, aren't you?
Yeah, about that.
And then you've got obviously the qualies before that. Okay, you can stand up, have a little walk around in between, but you're talking 2.5 hours. So it's it is quite something. I mean, I know it's sort of like you sat in a chair or you sat at home or whatever. Obviously, some of the UK guys, which I still find amazing, using pads. I don't know how they can race the way. I feel Phil Harris uses a pad, doesn't he? I'm sure he does.
Does he really? I know Tom Stevens does.
Tom Stevens, I'm pretty sure Phil Harris does. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah.
But even so, that's tiring in itself as well.
Get thumb ache. I mean,
I just wouldn't. How the hell you can make some of those corners using a pad is beyond me, I've got to say.
I mean, I used to use it, but having gone to the wheel now, going back to the pad almost feels alien.
Yeah, it does. I've tried it and it's horrible.
Yeah. So it's definitely not as easy after using the wheel for a little while.
No, definitely not. So we are on board with Cameron Widdowson at this moment in time. Cameron in that McLaren, keeping it real for McLaren in the points. So he's in P8. He will be picking up points for that, and that's what it all boils down to. Unfortunately, his teammate Gary McKenny losing it. I think that was turn 4, wasn't it? Was it turn 4 or turn 9?
I think it was one of those slippery corners we've been talking about. I think
exactly.
Actually, you know what? It might have been as far as turn 16.
I think it was 16 actually. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, pretty sure it was. Tony Foster in that Ferrari. Good old Tony, always there. I mean, this man is super consistent. He is always there in the points. He may be towards the back, 7, 8, 9, 10, but he's always there, always picking up points. There is not one race, I don't think, where he hasn't picked up any points. I think one race I think he did.
I'm just checking Adrian's stats. Yeah, 2 DNFs he's had actually. 2. But he's attended 14 Grand Prix. His last 3 races were 6th, 10th and 9th in that order.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we said, in the points, always there.
Super consistent, I have to say, and I think he's had a great race today. He really has. I think he's right up there. He's performed well, defended well when needed to, let people by when he needed to. Yeah, great race from Tony Foster there in the Ferrari in that P7 place. Jack Wilson, well, he now drops down to P7 as he's just come in the pits. He was the last man to pit, as I was saying earlier. Tony Foster has got ahead of him, and that's what he was trying not to do. And he's now about nearly 5 seconds ahead of him. So Jack Wilson's got his work cut out to basically catch back up to Tony Foster and try and take that 6th place back, and then close down to Thomas Cook. He's only got 12 laps remaining in which to do it. I think he's left it a bit late, Dan.
Yeah, I think he has, unfortunately. It's going to be tough for him.
It's definitely going to be tough for him on that one, but he is on a nice fresh set of intermediates that certainly should help him. Tony Foster, as you know, he's in P6. Thomas Cook, well, Thomas Cook, first race back to F1 Tonight UK, and he's done a pretty good show of it, to be fair, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think he got some damage, not of his own doing, earlier on in the race. Had to take a pit stop for that. But yeah, apart from that, a good return to form for Thomas, and good to see him back on track for F1 Tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's showcasing obviously his abilities here. So at the moment he's sitting in that P5, and I've got to say I think it's a comfortable P5, depending upon what Jack Wilson does and how he progresses through. I think he's looking fairly safe on that one. P4, Josh Diggles up 12 places, lest we forget, started right at the back of the grid in P16. I think he's had a great race.
He has, yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, taking advantage of some of the DNFs, no doubt, but that doesn't take away from you know,
yeah, but he sustained damage as well. He's came in.
Yeah, he's had to make the stops. He's had his own troubles, and he's kept the car going. And at the end of the day, that's why he's where he is, because he's managed to keep the car on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deliver it when it counts, and he's up to P4, and you know, potentially P3 at this rate. He's only 1.3 seconds behind
Ryan Lear, and he's definitely closing down. We knew that he was going to close down on Ryan, but we weren't too sure when it was going to be. But it looks like it's now, basically. He is closing him down. I expect probably by the end of lap 44, maybe sooner, he should be riding on his tail.
Absolutely. Yeah, very soon. There's just noting there that Thomas Cook, I think, has disconnected. So I could see Tony Foster take P5 off of him if he doesn't come back in time.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's horrible when that happens. Obviously, that's the F1.
Here he is.
All right, he's back. F1 eSports Motorsports version of electrical failure on a car is losing connection, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you lose so, because they just break so early, the AI. You lose so much time. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like losing ERS, losing that extra 150 horsepower.
Yeah, makes a big difference. But Josh Diggles is slowly eating into that. He's taken 3/10 out on the previous 3/4 lap to Ryan Lear. And if memory serves correctly, I think Josh is actually on a fresher set of tyres. Oh no, it's about equivalent, 14 and 15. So they're pretty much the same on that. But he is definitely closing down. Yeah, that gap's now down to under a second. So he is definitely reeling him in now, isn't he, Josh?
Yeah, as Tony also now takes Thomas Cook for P5, and still always rejoined. It looks like he's still not back in his car yet.
So Thomas Cook clearly having some connection issues. Tony Foster gets ahead of him, moves up to P5. Discretion not being the better part of valour. It's not nice if somebody disconnects, but you're not going to complain about it when you go round them.
Well, no, you're not, certainly. And I think Thomas is now back in his car.
So it appears to be keeping with Tony. I've got to say, I'm staying at this moment in time with Josh Diggles, because he is right on the tail of Ryan Lear now. And they're coming round penultimate turn. 17, and this is where it's going to count now. Is Josh going to be able to take advantage out of 18, get alongside him before they get down to turn 1? He's right on his back there, but can't quite get a pace. Out for a little bit more pace on that straight line speed. Let's see as they come down into turn 2. What can he pull out of the bag here? He's definitely a lot later braking there, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. I think Ryan perhaps not braking quite as late as some other drivers, but still.
Look at this! Look at this! Makes the move. Round 4. Ryan Lear though coming back, gets past him again. So a real attack there from Josh Diggles. Out of 3 into 4, but Ryan Lear just takes the line nice and smooth, and he's disconnected. But has he? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. But he's not looking good.
No, there's some connection issues, I think.
So
there's Josh looking to come back at Ryan, perhaps down this back straight here.
Yeah, he's out of 10 now. Obviously, no DRS and no DRS throughout the course of this race as we've been racing under wet conditions. But look at this, Ryan Lear trying to see if he can just defend. He's got to try and hold that line into turn 13. Oh, and there's contact. Ooh, there's wheel-to-wheel contact there, but Josh Diggles gets past him. Wheel-to-wheel contact there with Ryan Lear as they were coming into 13. But Ryan had to do that, didn't he? He had to maintain that inside line into 13, and that's what he was looking to do, riding on the right-hand side of the track as they were coming down towards 12-13.
He had to get his elbows out there to try and stop Josh from coming back at him, but in the end, there's not much else he can do there.
No, Josh Diggles gets past him, moves up into that P3 position. Now he needs to consolidate that, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's looking good to do so.
He is looking good to do so. Phil Harris still in that P2 position. He's 45 seconds down the road to Josh at this moment in time, but he's 1 minute 39 now off the back of Tom Stevens, and Stevens has just romped this. It is another Hungary.
It is. Yeah, I don't think Tom's quite lapped him yet, but he's not far off lapping the entire field at this rate.
Oh, this is pretty much as I say what he did at Hungary. I don't think he, and again, I think it was Phil Harris who didn't manage to lap at Hungary, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think he did everybody at Hungary. Got close. I think he might do it here tonight.
So Tom Stevens leads the way for Mercedes, as he has done right from the start of this race. Phil Harris, though, for Rocket Williams, he's in that P2 position, and it's, you know, fair play to him. Good race from him, and he's done well throughout. He did well in qualifying as well. It's been a pretty good job for him, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, maintains his position. It was a 1-2 as we were discussing, so he's done great guns on that, maintaining that place and coming back, because he fell behind, didn't he, when he had issues in contact himself. He fell behind, but he just really pushed through that field when he came back out, didn't he?
Yeah, I think came out P6 or P7. And made light work of the rest of the field, a couple of laps. I think maybe five, 6 laps, and back up to P2.
So good run from him.
And great effort from him.
Josh Diggles, as we know, obviously we've been discussing that in that P3 position. 13 places started in P16. Well, that speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned. Down 1 though, Ryan Lear, who Josh just made the move on. He's not going to be over the moon, obviously, if he maintains his position. We've only got 6 laps remaining, and it looks, 7 laps remaining. It looks pretty much like he will, but you know, still not to be sniffed at. You got the points there, haven't
you? Yeah, absolutely. You know, it wouldn't have been his first podium; would have been the second of his career so far this season. But yeah, it's never nice losing a position, let alone P3.
Yeah, it's a bit of a choker,
you won't be thrilled with that, but still P4, great result, 12 points in the bag for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
He'll be happy with that for sure.
Absolutely. Thomas Cook, obviously we've touched on. not literally, but we've spoken about. And yeah, I mean, 9 places, obviously. Number of drivers gone out, but even so, he's got up into that 5th position from 14. So I think he can go away, certainly holding his head high at the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll be happy with that return to racing with F1 tonight. Absolutely, P5's a good result.
Yeah. Jack Wilson in P6. I mean, Jack Wilson, it's... I think for Jack, it's a bit of a race of missed opportunities, really, isn't it? I mean, he's moved up 2 places, but I think, he's had some missed opportunities in this race.
Yeah, there's been a couple of moments. I think they had coming together, didn't he, earlier in the race when he was sort of in that large battle for P5.
Yes, that's right.
With Tony.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, like you say, some missed opportunities, but still was getting some great fighting with some of the guys earlier on.
Yeah.
Very respectful, and I think just unlucky to get some damage earlier on and had to pit early. But still coming back strong. He's not too far off the back of Thomas.
No, he's
Thomas
not. That's the man he needs to. That's the man he needs to close down. I was saying I didn't think he'd necessarily be able to, but he's certainly giving it a damn good go. That's for sure. So we'll see how Jack progresses. He can see that Toro Rosso ahead of him, and that always helps and makes a difference. That's Jack Wilson. Tony Foster, well, we've touched on Tony Foster already again. He's consistent, Mr. Consistency. Tony Foster is in that P7 place, and Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren in P8. Again, he's shown, I think he's showing consistency. He's been started, obviously, later on during the season, missed a couple of races, but yeah, he seems to be a pretty solid driver himself. He seems to be up there. I think Cameron could well be a driver to watch for season 2, actually.
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's shown he's got what it takes. He's been quite competitive today.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we know, obviously, retirements, well, Adrian Rich in the Red Bull, Gary McKenny, teammate to Cameron Woodson in the McLaren, Jamie Good in the Racing Point, Matt Goodyear in the Haas, Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo, Lee Pratt in the Red Bull, Connor Hughes in the Renault, and Sean Street in the Racing Point. Those last 4 going out before turn 1 even, and a few tears were shed, I think, at on the opening of this race. But it's just the way it goes, and it's so easy though, isn't it? Especially off the start, you think you get a great launch, and then all of a sudden you lay down the power a bit more, up the gear, and all of a sudden the car just goes from underneath you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like you say, I couldn't say it better myself, really. It's just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah, and normally it's the starts where you see them, or at least in that first lap. We are now on lap 48. Sorry, stand corrected. 49 of 53. Tom Stevens leading this race. He only has 4 laps remaining. He's led from start to finish. It has been an absolute sublime race. I've got to say, though, his major competition going out early, it would have been interesting to see what Dylan could have done, or indeed Lee Pratt, because Lee Pratt was faster, and indeed Sean Street as well. So, yeah, it would have been interesting what would have happened had they managed to stay in the game a little bit longer. But there's no point in speaking of what could have been, because this is what is been.
What is been?
What is been, innit? Innit?
Lovely grammar.
Oh, I loves my grammar. I do.
Innit, bruv?
I do.
Sick.
It is totally sick, bruv. So, Tom Stevens leading the way. There's not an awful lot you can say, really, but he has made it very clear that he wants the gun for this championship. He's sitting in 2nd place at the moment. 79 points, I believe, was the points deficit that he had to Dylan Platt. Obviously maintaining this And if he gets the fastest lap, that will actually come down to 53 points. So that's makes it a little bit closer, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, absolutely. Much closer than it was, for sure.
It seems a little bit more achievable then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he still needs Dylan to lose out big time DNF in at least a couple more races to really stand that real chance, doesn't he?
Is it 53, is it? Or is it, was it at the moment? Is it 90 something, isn't it, at the moment?
Is it 90?
Yeah, I think it's 191, 289, I think.
191 to 289. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was 79 points.
That makes it 98. 98 points.
98 points. Take away that's going to bring it down to 72 points. Yeah, I thought for some reason that's 79 points, but even so, it's better than it is. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But he still needs a lot of luck to go his way and a lot of bad luck to go Dylan Platt's way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Dylan still be fairly content at the moment. I mean, obviously, he's a racer like the rest of us, and he wants to be, where Tom is now, winning this race, but he isn't. But again, he's just built up such a great points lead over the course of the season so far that he can not finish this race and still be fairly comfortable.
Yeah. Excuse me. No, that is absolutely correct. So yeah, we'll see how that actually works. But yeah, it's still a big ask. I'm sort of scratching my head trying to figure out various connotations, but whichever connotation I work out, it all comes back to the same thing, which is ultimately it needs Dylan Platt to really have majorly bad luck for at least two of the remaining races, and DNF as he has done unfortunately today. Whichever way you cut it.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. That's unfortunately that is what he needs at the moment. It's a combination of Tom having the bad luck really to start the season off, and Dylan's not had that much of a share of it. He's just had those better results, and he's showed in the points.
Yeah.
So that Tom really can't come back from unless, like you say, Dylan gets that bad luck for the rest of the season.
Well, I must admit, I've had my sort of pen and paper out, trying to sort of have a quick look at it and try and figure it out. But yeah, it's very much how it looks at this moment in time. So we will see how that all pans out. Obviously, we are going to have a break next week, as it is Christmas Eve. We won't actually be back until the new year, so this is actually the last race of 2019 for F1 Tonight UK.
Indeed, yeah.
So we will be back in the new year.
We can make that last year joke when it comes to the new year. That'll be fun.
What's that?
We can make the last year joke. Russia was so last year. That's what everyone does, isn't it? It gets to the new year. Oh, it was so last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's a very good point, actually. So Tom Stevens is now starting his penultimate lap, and what a race it has been. The field at the moment pretty evenly spread. Let's work our way back. Cameron Widdowson maintaining that 8th place at this moment. He's 6.7 seconds off the back of Tony Foster. Tony Foster is in P7. He's dropped down one, started in 6, but I think he's still going to be pretty happy with that. He's 9.2 seconds off the back of Jack Wilson. Jack Wilson obviously being able to get past him a little bit earlier on, so he did manage to get past him on those fresh intermediates. Moved up into P6, and he is now challenging Thomas Cook, which is what he really needs to do, because that was where he was before he actually came in and pitted. He was ahead of Thomas Cook, wasn't he? Or he was in 5th place, effectively.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too sure what he was going to be able to close down to, but this is a real fight now at the closing stage of this race, because he is riding right on his coattails, 6/10 off the back of him, and I think Jack Wilson is pretty determined to get that 5th place back.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants that. He wants those 10 points.
Yeah, it's a big difference when you get into double-digit points. So Jack Wilson at this moment in time is pushing and pushing hard. Thomas Cook just trying to break the toe there that Jack might have had on him coming down towards 17. Now, is he going to try and do the same as they come down to turn 1 and 18? It's right on board with Jack Wilson, and indeed Thomas Cook, they're trying to break that toe, isn't he? Goes in deep there, really. Oh, look at this though, Jack really moving around, trying to see which way he can go as they're coming round turn 2. And he is right on his tail now. There is nothing between it. Tom Stevens has already started his final lap. Let's have a quick look where he is. He's just coming round turn 8. Jack Wilson. Oh, look at this. I don't really want to go away from this action. Okay, Tom Stevens is going to win, but we've got to catch Tom obviously crossing the line.
Yeah.
So, right, let's cut to that quickly. Tom Stevens coming around now. Where is he?
Turn. Oh yeah, where is he? 6, I think.
6.
6 and 7. There we go.
8, 9. Yeah, he's coming around 8, 9. Let's go back to Jack Wilson.
I can stick on Tom if you like, if you want to watch the action.
Yeah, unfortunately, your one I've lost somehow.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I've got it back. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, you stay with Tom. I'll stay with Jack Wilson, and I can quickly cut to Tom. You stay with him.
Yep.
So Jack Wilson backed off now. He's 7/10 off back, so I can go back to Tom Stevens as he comes round turn 16 into turn 17 now. Beating it down to turn 18, the final turn. And that is Phil Harris behind him, a lap down. Tom Stevens crosses the line. Fantastic race there from Tom Stevens. Phil Harris crosses the line, a lap down, takes P2. Josh Diggles coming round turn 10 now, and I've got to say, we haven't spoken about driver of the day, but I have a sneaking suspicion you're not going to disagree with me, and I've got to say I'm going to give it to Josh.
Yeah. I will not disagree with you, and I will agree.
Yeah.
Josh is the man.
I think hands down, fantastic result from Josh Diggles. Started in P16, irrespective of the DNFs we've had. He came through that field quite some time before those, and they haven't really come into play in his race, and I think he has driven a fantastic race. Started in 16, finishes P3. Great result for Josh Diggles. Yeah, fantastic. On the podium, gets driver of the day. Ryan Lear for Alfa Romeo finishes 4th. He's going to be a bit gutted, losing that place. Jack Wilson finishes 5, up 3. Thomas Cook up 8, started in P14. He finishes 6. Cameron Widdowson up 5, started in 12. He finishes P7. Tony Foster, not quite where he would have been, dropped 2, but fantastic qualifying from him. He finishes in P8. I mean, that was a tough race, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just wet throughout, and those tough conditions have shown the results. You just look at everyone that's not finished.
Yeah.
These boys haven't had it easy tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough race. So this is the final race of F1 tonight in the 2019 calendar, real world calendar. We will be back on Tuesday the 7th of January, and that will be for the Japanese Grand Prix. We are looking to have a little transmission between the Christmas and New Year. We will be doing a driver draw or selection for season 2, and hopefully we'll have a few extra bits and pieces with regards to F1 tonight, some racing action, some commentary on the drivers and discussions. We may put that back to the start of season 2 in February. So we've yet to look at that, but we will be posting that up on our social media. Yeah, great race there. Tom did pick up a few penalties there. Phil Harris I think picked up 17 seconds, 18 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a number of points picked up there, but not surprising under the conditions, and not surprising with regards to this track either, is it?
No, yeah, it's a hard one not to get penalties on. And obviously that's shown here with the amount of drivers that have got them.
Yeah.
But in the end, didn't affect the results. So everyone finishes where they were on track.
Okay, so that's what's happening with F1 Tonight UK. This Thursday, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time, we will be with F1 Tonight Netherlands. They will be racing back at Singapore. They are rerunning the race this Thursday due to a major glitch on the track that happened last Thursday. So that will be Singapore this Thursday, and then we'll have a break, come back in the new year with the Netherlands guys. Oh, sorry, will we come back in the new year? Yeah, I think we will. Can't remember the calendar now off the top of my head because they're on a Thursday. But we will be racing, I think, one more race with them before the end of this year. And then we will come back in the new year. So we will be racing at Sochi, I think, on the day after Boxing Day, which will be a Thursday.
27th.
27th, thank you very much. So we will be with them. That will be in a week's time, and then we'll be back with them in the new year. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to be getting this second camera option working. It wasn't working perfectly, but we will get it working and get a little bit more used to it, and that will come in for season 2. We hope you've enjoyed it. I know I certainly have. It's been a pretty crazy race today.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, great fun. So from me, it's a good night to everyone.
And from me, it's also good night and a cheeky Huzzah.
Nice one. Good night, everyone.
Cheers, guys.